welcome back. Welcome in to the. I guess, Mike, you had an idea for a name here.
Yeah, I mean, we could call it Storymoders Quantum, a limited Fallout Season 2 retrospective podcast.
It's a bit long, but I like the front part of it.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, listen, you can cut off the subtitle.
yeah.
Everybody ignores the subtitle.
Mike is here. I'm here, but we are also joined by another brand new guest, Jessica Starr. Welcome in.
Hey, Fallout folk. Greets, everybody.
Hi, Jess.
And also Ernie. Ernie's here too. At times.
Ernie. Oh, no, he's going to be here the whole time, but...
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Jessica is just an incredible streamer. Obviously, fucking cool-ass backgrounds there. Also, are you okay if we swear? Because we swear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I may not.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
But that is totally fine. You know, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah. Jessica, for those who don't know, for the two people from our side of the viewership here who might not know you, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, I'm Jessica Starr. I'm primarily a podcaster. I've been hosting the Fallout feed, the longest continuously running Fallout podcast, for years now, years and years. I stream, I do YouTube, I do a lot of stuff on socials around Fallout. I just absolutely love the series.
Yeah. And we have a question for our guests on our main podcast, and we've changed it a little bit here. So usually we ask, what's your first game you played and favorite game you played? But for this one, what is the first Fallout game that you played, and what is your favorite Fallout game?
Well, first I want to say, having me follow Mantis, that's quite the challenge, because he is such, a Fallout lore nerd and stuff like that. He does such great work. I love his work. People think of me as like a modern Fallout creator, the 3 on and stuff, and he does like the earlier stuff, and I'm most active around 4 and 76, because that's when I've been active, but I've played all the earlier games too, and I love his work. So, yeah, my first Fallout game, I started Bethesda with Morrowind. My first Fallout game was Fallout 3, except I didn't get into it. So my husband and I started at the same time, and I did that thing where I watched him play, mostly. You know what I mean? Like, I dabbled, I made it to Megaton, I met Moira, I said whatever, I watched him play. Then New Vegas came out, and that's when it sucked me in. So around 2010, I played through New Vegas once, then again, then I went back to 3, and I absolutely loved it.
Nice. So we'll say Fallout 3 is your first, and what is your favorite? I think I might know the answer, but we'll just...
I honestly, let's be real. This is one of the hardest questions in the Fallout fandom because war never changes. Battles have happened over this. So right now, and it changes occasionally, but Fallout 4 is my favorite Fallout.
Okay.
Followed by New Vegas. I love New Vegas. Got the shirt, got the NCR flag, but Fallout 4, I think, is currently the pinnacle of the series in a lot of ways.
Nice. I thought you were going to go with 76, and then I would have somebody else on my side for 76, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll be alone. So, it's fine. It's fine.
2 years ago, I would have said 76. Like I said, it changes. It changes. Partly what I'm currently playing. I'm in New Vegas again right now. So.
Oh, I dove in to New Vegas the other day because I was doing an achievement thing, and I just needed achievements in games that had 3 zeros in a row in the name of it, and there was one for one of the New Vegas DLCs to do 10,000 points of damage with the gun runners arsenal.
Yeah.
And I had never done that before, so I bought the DLC, and then I just bought. There was a fat man that was for it. I'm not proud of myself, but I went to Jacobstown and I blew up all of the rams and killed all the super mutants, and then it popped up the achievements, and I just closed out of the game and I didn't let it save. And I was like, I never did anything wrong.
People are calling Mr. House a monster after this last episode. What are you doing?
Wow.
Hey,
Mr. Hawk's the real villain of New Vegas.
Let's see here. What do I have here?
A gun?
Just want to make sure it's not upside down.
Oh!
I actually have a Brotherhood flag down in my kitchen, so yeah.
Nice. Is it the one that came with one of the collector's editions of the games?
I got mine from the Bethesda gear store. like so many things.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this was like in the Fallout 4 Collector's Edition. The one with like the Pip-Boy? I'm not sure. It came in one of those.
Oh, did you get the version with the Pip-Boy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nope, and now I'm blurry.
Super cool. That phone app they had there was amazing.
Oh my god, I loved that
like
so
that was
much.
such
I'm
a
bummed
fun
that it doesn't work anymore.
Connectivity thing. Yeah, I used my Surface tablet with it.
Nice.
It was awesome while it worked.
Just trying to anytime I pull something up to the camera, I get blurry. And then I'm
You can
blurry.
edit that out. Like just wiggle your nose, or
that didn't work. I thought that would work. I just pull up the camera app and then it'll fix itself because it knows that I wanted to do something.
Because it knows you're about to jettison it out the window.
Mm-hmm. It gets it. It understands.
That's why every car I've ever known understands that when I'm walking towards it with the breaker bar, things are about to get real rough.
As I am doing this, let's do quick, just thoughts on episode 2. Or actually, Jessica, you said you had some. Did you have some notes on episode 1 that you wanted to share? Or any thoughts on episode 1?
My notes I have on graph paper, appropriately nerdy, are on the second episode that we're going to be talking about today. Okay. But for episode 1, of course, I have some thoughts, and they'll probably come up as we go back. But I definitely enjoyed it. I like the fact that we got right back into the action. I like where we picked up on a lot of things. I have a few tonal nitpicks with the way they portray some things in the show, but we can talk about those as they come up in this episode.
Come up in episode 2. All right. But yeah, I same as you. Like, I was so happy that we just essentially jumped right back into what we were doing. There was the recap, which was great, which honestly did not really feel like we needed it all that much with episode 1 because these seasons are so close together. Relatively compared to.
They done good. Less than 2 years. That's better than average.
Stranger Things. Oh yeah. We're a decade in between seasons.
I'm hoping they can maintain like a year and a half or so.
Yeah, I think they've already. I don't think they've started filming it, but I think they're going to start filming season 3 in like January. I think I heard.
I believe they said production was maybe early this summer coming, but that's still on the timeline could work. So this past season, they wrapped around end of January after they had started. And so it was about, 9 months from wrap that they went through production and started putting it out. So if it finishes, say, mid next summer, we could easily see it next spring. So that's my prediction. Season 3, spring 2027. Fallout 3 Remakester along with it, spring 2027, maybe. Let's hope.
Ooh, There's an Xbox showcase in January that they've announced.
Yeah,
the Fallout 3 Remakester.
So I do not expect the Remakester still. I know people are all about it. They want it so bad. But Virtuos, we just got the Oblivion Remakester this past, what was it, May, April? And it takes time. It takes time to jump over. I don't think they're going to get it out in just a year. I think it's going to be closer to 2.
Well, the rumor, and speculation is that it has been worked on they've been working on it for years. So it's not like Oblivion came out and then they started they were kind of doing both of those simultaneously because there was there was an NVIDIA leak like 8 years ago of all these games that are coming out in the next couple of years, and Fallout 3 Remake was on there, and
the documentation from the Activision trial, and
that
on there,
that
which
as well.
We're approximately 2 years. We're approximately 2 years behind that, and on a lot of things.
So but I think it's gonna happen, but if it comes out next year, in between seasons, let's just say it comes out. Let's just say it is a January thing. Then for Fallout Season 3, you have to have something. You have to have a game. Season 1, there was nothing, because I don't think they thought that it was going to be as big as it was. Season 2, lined it up with Burning Springs in 76, but I think for Season 3, you've got to have, if not Fallout 5.
Anniversary debacle.
Oh, God. But for Season 3, you've got to have a game for people to play. Whether it's a Fallout 3 remake or a Fallout New Vegas remake or the thing that Tim Kaine is working on, which is we can't guess that it's Fallout 2 or New Vegas 2. So like I said, it's Fallout New Vegas 3, and we're just skipping 2. So why not? Which is why no one's guessed it so far, except for me. I'm a genius.
Big brain move.
He says it's not what you'd think. You think the 2 and the 3 is what he meant there?
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah. Or, now that I'm onto it, New Vegas 4. We're all going to be confused. So
New Vegas 76. Everybody will love that. Bringing together their 2 favorite things.
Buddy. No, I like...
If they don't let us go to Las Vegas in Fallout 76.
Right? Expeditions, perfect vehicle for that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or just build a bridge and pretend it's in Ohio. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
the dog
really
overall
don't care
thoughts...
about the lore.
Yeah, who cares? House is alive and he's just chilling out, you know?
He doesn't look like a piece of beef jerky. He's just like, hey, what's up, gang?
No, he's like, hey, guys, come
Shady
on
fans
in.
will be in Ohio next, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be the crater, even though it's only 25 years after the bombs, and then it's rebuilt and then bombed again. Yeah, 76 just likes to mess with stuff, but in a good way. We love it.
No, we absolutely love it. You know, I do. It may not be my favorite, but I absolutely love it. And the way I like to look at it is, well, the story of 76 is canon, you know, the events and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What we, the players, bring to it. Anything in the atomic shop that the players do, all that, that's our own story. That's on top. That's, you know, not really part of it. And if you take the original story of 76 and the expansions, it's actually got some really great stuff. You know, like G says, it's one of the best stories in the series, and I have to agree. It is a little bit more lore than story because it's more stuff we discover as we go, but it's the thread we follow
especially
through.
that original storyline with, you know, without NPCs. It is all just discovering what has happened so far.
Mm-hmm.
That first year of 76 and the Barren Wasteland before Wastelanders, I know it's not for everybody, but I loved it.
Yeah. And if
me,
you were... Go ahead.
That's a lot of what Fallout is. Like, in a way, it channeled the first game better than any other because it's just you alone in a much larger wasteland than we'd been in before, you know, kind of just discovering relics of the past. That loneliness, that's what I really loved about 76. Now it's full of people, you know, not just other players, but
now it's just like
people
a
everywhere, and that's cool. But
yeah, Fallout 76 is a party.
Especially if you do a lot of public events and such.
Oh, yeah. If you were watching this and you were not aware that Fallout 76 had a story, because you never played it after the first weekend, we have a very fun video on our YouTube channel where I go through all of the actual storylines and lore up to Burning Springs. It's full of spoilers, so heads up, but you know, it's all just story stuff, so you can enjoy that. But episode 2. Yeah, episode 2, thank you. What were your overall thoughts before we dive into like a recap of the episode? What'd you guys think? And once again, this is going to be, let's try, actually, you know what? Right now, we're no real spoilers, and then we're going to jump into full spoilers. So,
okay.
So whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I do like that they just kind of like buckle down and they're just like, all right, whatever the hell is happening in 33 is gonna, we can put that thing on the back burner, you know, whatever weird ass support group they come up with next. Like, we need some time to cook on that one. I really like how they just focused on like, all right, here's Lucy and Cooper doing their thing. And then there's fucking Norm just throwing grenades into the organization, which I love so much.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, seeing what the Mojave Brotherhood is, like, what their plans are after, you know, Maximus was given the glory for killing Moldaver, you know, and discovering cold fusion and just being like, yes, what would you do if you had the one thing nobody else in the Wasteland has?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one of the challenges of this season. Is the first season was very much about 3 stories, 3 characters, but their stories, they're you know, establishing settings, and kind of think of them as character archetypes, you know, with the Vault Dweller, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Ghoul, the hardened Wastelander bounty hunter, bringing them together. So 3 into 1, and that coming together. But now there's really like 5 stories at least, plus the past flashbacks. So it is a bit more to weave, and it makes sense that, you know, they should only focus on a couple to maintain continuity. in each episode, because if they did give us all 5, I've already heard from people talking about the episode that it jumped around a bit more than they were comfortable with. Like, there's a lot to keep track of now. But I think, if they only focus on a couple stories each episode and then bring them together again, that'll be great.
But I mean, the last episode, we didn't even see Maximus or the Brotherhood. Like, they didn't even talk about it. It was just, hey, we've got Lucy and the Ghoul, we've got Hank in wherever he's at, and we've got, like, Norm. But
that was great.
Yeah.
Like, really locking in with Lucy and the Ghoul, too, as, our main characters along with Maximus, like, really focusing on that. And, of course, CX404, dog meat there with them still. One thing I wanted to mention that you brought up last episode, too, just real quick. You mentioned about calling out for the girls. So he actually, the name he says is Darla. When he's talking about he bought a souvenir from a woman in a shop over there. Darla.
Yes.
That's what he said. So Darla is one letter off from Carla, Boone's wife. So my speculation was, I think that was a Boone reference. I tweeted about that on Twitter. and I think that was a subtle Boone reference. Yeah, it was a little bit early, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it very well could be, and it also very well could be like a Boone reference. He's thinking Darla because it was so long ago, we can't remember the name.
Darla, Carla, the Ghouls he's lived a long, long time.
Yeah, he's resilient. Yeah.
But overall feelings on episode 2, I really enjoyed where it went. We did focus on Maximus more this episode, which was nice. We got a little bit more establishing. There were no, I know we don't want to do spoilers, but we can at least say there were no flashbacks to the past this episode. In the way that they kept things, a few stories, and I liked how it locked in. I would say it stayed even. My overall feelings about it's on an even keel with last episode. I might have liked to see, I guess I have a lot of questions, There's a lot more character stories I want to know more about, and I think that's a good thing to leave us with. Leave us wanting more. But I would say the only thing that was resolved this episode were a number of questions about the Brotherhood, but nothing else feels resolved.
Yeah. Now we've got new storylines, really, that we've seen.
More questions.
Now we have other stuff. It's like, well, and what about all this now? I do like how it's branching in logical ways. It's not just being like, oh, hey, here's this guy. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Let's give him like a 2-episode arc. And it's like, no. Like, you have the 3 main storylines. Everything else kind of needs to serve those. And you're going to have episodes where it's just like, yep, we're just pushing this thing forward, not reinventing the wheel here. Like, sorry, not a ton of fan service, but like, hey, we have to advance the story because, this medium does require us to tell a story.
Absolutely. And there were plenty. There were plenty of fan servicey moments too.
So much.
One of the best things about fan service in this series is the way that they weave it into the story.
Yeah.
It's very rarely a, hey, look at me, a little spotlight on something. A little bit, but not too badly.
Yeah, like it's never really forced. It's always like organic or germane to like the scene or the story,
Yeah. I think they did a great job with this. I was a little, I wouldn't say worried last week when we didn't hear a peep about Maximus, but I think it made this episode feel even more impactful, opening up with what we opened up with, and then, a lot of this episode was about him and what's going on in the Brotherhood in the Mojave, which I think him and them not being in there anytime last week made it, like I said, more impactful now. Because it's like, oh, yes, we haven't seen anything. What is going on? Now I'm all focused on what's happening here that's bound to be a major plot point. It's not just going to be something that's happening in a few episodes and then we're off, but this seems like the Brotherhood so far from last season and then this season, without diving into too much of what happens, we'll do that here in a minute. It seems like the Brotherhood is going to be the storyline throughout the seasons that does the most to actually affect the world around everybody, if that makes sense.
As long as nobody goes setting off any nukes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
like I said, for the most part, but it, like last season, the whole, with the whole trying to find the Doctor and the whole cold fusion thing ended up with a giant battle between the Brotherhood, and then they, took the cold fusion, and now what's going on now, it seems like something that whatever they're planning on, and I don't know if you can hear Oliver in the background. I apologize. I think an Amazon thing just got delivered probably. But yeah, like whatever they're working on even though it seems like it might be internal to the Brotherhood, that's definitely going to have far-reaching effects on everybody, it seems like. So I'm definitely excited to see what they do there. So, any other non-spoiler thoughts before we jump into the meat of the episode?
Let's jump in, and I think talking about Max is a great segue right into the intro of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. But before we do that, there's gonna be a little video that plays here of us asking you to stick around. Before, after our Fallout stuff, we're still just a fun little video game podcast, and we have a good time.
Yeah.
So
still do some things.
That's gonna go back here.
Hey, thanks for joining us for this Fallout Breakdown episode. If you like what we're doing, specifically me and Hawks, we have a regular weekly podcast called Storymoders. Comes out every Thursday wherever you get your podcast. We'd love it if you hung out, checked out a couple episodes, maybe gave us a subscription on YouTube. Anyway, back to the episode.
They did it! They blew it up!
Yeah.
They blew the whole thing up. We knew that they blew it up, but we saw them blow it up.
We got the excruciating details of how they blew it up.
Which was a surprise, and I really, really liked the way they did it. I just want to mention first, Shady Sands. Okay, so one of the biggest lore issues, they slap us with it right at the beginning of the episode again. We get to see Shady Sands in front of the buildings, and absolutely nothing like it was in the game. But I do enjoy seeing, the farms. Also, it's a little bit smaller than a population of, 43,000, 46,000, whatever it is, would suggest. But it's a cool establishing shot. You see a functioning society, people growing plants, young Max walking through. All of this, I really like these scenes. They tried to show that it was a burgeoning, hopeful, rebuilding society.
Yeah. It's. I had to go back just watching it at the very beginning because they show that opening shot of the city and you see the giant fields and everything, and it's like that. I'm pretty sure that's there's exploded that's not pre-war stuff, whatever. But then it cuts into the people, and you're like, this looks so much like the pre-war stuff that we've seen so far.
I literally backed up a little bit just to double check the establishing shot. Also to zoom in and look at all the buildings and everything around where they put it. But yeah.
Yeah, that. I thought that was so well done. It's just if you give people enough time, this thing is going to turn around, and you got to see this is what society rebuilding after this looks like. Everybody's out there, everybody's happy, they're vibrant colors,
Right.
It's not these muted tones.
We've seen it in a few of the games, and people talk about how it was rebuilding, especially Fallout 2. But New Vegas, obviously, the strip is very established,
Oh, yeah.
Bethesda did it in 4 a bit. I know they don't really credit for it because of the way things were going, but, Diamond City, there is a lot of rebuilding happening there.
Yeah.
We're coming in at a time when some stuff recently started to fall apart and go very wrong.
Yeah. But seeing Shady Sands in the way that we saw it was jarring in a good way. Because you really like you said too, had to back up, be like, wait, was this no, those are definitely exploded buildings. Those are not modern day buildings, and there's a giant farm in the middle of everything that I'm pretty sure is not there in Los Angeles, because that would be a car park. But it's seeing the vibrant colors. It's just I think the biggest thing that Mike said. It definitely doesn't feel like what we've seen in most of the Fallout games. Like you said, there are some communities that we see in some of the games, but it's these are people who obviously don't know what pre-war was like, because we're on the surface and this is, hundreds of years later, whatever, but they've gotten to the point where this is a civilization. It's not just people surviving. This is people working together, and Max is walking down the street and he's saying hi to the neighbors and they're like, hey Max, they're just living.
It is civilization as we know it. It's there's some bombed out stuff, some burned out cars, but they have been pushed to the side, harvested for parts. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. In one of the shots where Max is kind of walking through, you can see a yellow car and then shelves of books next by it, an open air library out in the town square. Shady Sands did it. They created the walkable community that we all clamor for. All it took was the nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, what we can do here
is see the nuclear apocalypse.
Right. I mean, there have been a number of communities throughout the years that have rebuilt. But at this point, we're talking about the NCR. I mean, if this is 2281 that this happens, according to the normal timeline, which the way think we expect things should be, late 2281 when this bomb went off, as opposed to 2277, which is highlighted, but really the time frame for Fallout 3. They've had 100 years. The NCR has grown. There are several thriving communities. And there are plenty of others in the Wasteland, but it is really good to see. It's also something that I needed, because one of my bigger complaints about the show is the way they're portraying a lot of Wastelanders. They're leaning a little bit heavily Mad Max, like they're all weirdos or maladjusted or what have you. And weird characters are entertaining, like the flea soup vendor I found just annoying, because, No Bark is funny because he's No Bark in the middle of a town of people Fantastic is funny because, once again, he's an oddball, but within a normal setting. But everything from Philly, like a lot of the inhabitants of Philly, to random Wastelanders like the water vendor, a few things, and then here we're not seeing normal people. And a big part of the Fallout setting has lots of normal people, with that 50s retrofuturistic vibe. And that was missing a bit. And so I'm glad to see it here. Like, we get it in the vault, but they've always had the surface as just being a little bit
the surface
less
is
civilized than we know some of it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So, really quick for what Mike was referring to here. We've got the cab with no tires, like the tires are just gone. But then, there's an open air, just a little library because they've just amassed the books, and it's just normal. This is a normal society. They don't have an actual library to put everything in. But this looks like this is a little town that, this is the shot that we see at the very beginning.
This is always something that, like, I am just so, like, curious. Because all the Fallout's just like, and, like, you come out of the vault, and then, like, there's, like, towns and societies and shit dotted about. It's like, well, how the hell does a society recover with all of our accumulated knowledge, and then somebody taking, the eraser to the whiteboard and erasing a lot of it? Like, what do you do with that little bit? Like, what would the future look like with those little bits of knowledge that we still have from the old world?
Yeah.
And I thought that was really...
how that knowledge evolves over generations of people who aren't in the middle of it.
Yeah. It's just like, you have to reinvent...
Jess, I think you might be muted.
Oh, some people go some very strange directions with it, like you're saying, because there are gaps in the knowledge. But also, I mean, it's not our world. It is the world of Fallout. And so there were a lot of innovations and discoveries, stuff that we haven't had. And then they take a bit of that and they, drag it way forward into a very strange direction.
Yeah, just like we never invented the transistor, so everything is still vacuum tube based. Good luck with that. But, like, seeing what they did... And, like, the weird bits of technology, like, not even in the show, but just, like, throughout the games. It's like, technological development stopped, so we just had the big box of Legos of the stuff that we had. And this is what we've got.
Technically, in lore, the transistor was created in, around the 2020s or so, like, around our time. But, of course... it wasn't used much, and it wasn't a big influence on the direction technology went. Their vacuum stuff. That's why they eventually were able to do digital technology, with some of the robots and stuff like the platinum chip, for instance. That's not a vacuum tube thing.
Oh God, no. Yeah,
but it's primarily analog technology, analog over digital in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, this is. I have some friends who are engineers, like electrical engineers and everything, and I bring up Fallout stuff to them, and they just are like, how? Like, it breaks them a little bit. It's just like, oh yeah, no, like the majority is vacuum tubes. Like, not widespread adoption of the transistor, man. They're just like, it hurts them. It causes them physical pain. And I'm like, guys, it's just made up pretend things where I am the dumbest, strongest man in a certain part of the country, and I'm there to just wreak havoc. Just let it go, boys. Just let it go.
But speaking of technology, with Max walking through the town, you then jump over to his father, and his father's working on a water purifier.
Yes.
Which, again, fantastic reference, classic water purifier we see in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and just like
it's let's see, why did you go 2 minutes forward? Why would you do that to me?
Super amped to be.
It just wants to see a genocide. I don't know. I didn't make Plex. Okay.
I'm just super amped to be like seeing all these problems you're having with Plex. Like, oh yeah, the old streaming PC is going to be turned into a Plex server, and now I'm super pumped about my decision.
I got the NCR Ranger there, which is just a great view. But yeah, coming up here in just a sec, we see. Yeah, there's the water purifier that we see in the games, just straight out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And Max's dad is like an engineer, but once again, just an engineer working on things and learning as he does things, because there's no one there to really teach anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously probably books and everything that he's found and he's studying, but it's not like...
Yeah. He's an engineer like your uncle or aunt who's really good at fixing cars, but they never, they graduated high school and that was it. But you bring them anything and they're just like, oh yeah, I can figure this out. I've just been abusing my local library card. They made me get another
stat
one.
Over 50. Yeah. You know, he's got a decent repair stat. He's good with
he's got this. Yeah. Like
the intelligence in his special is probably maxed out.
Gotta be. Oh yeah.
And look at his wife. He's got a pretty high charisma too. Let's be honest. Okay.
Oh. I would follow that man into a burning building if he asked me.
100%. 100%.
I love this line. And he's just like, no more water rations. We can grow more crops. We can have another kid. Just like total...
Push one out of your ass.
Yup. Just like all this stuff that you would excitedly do and then try to softball that one in there. And then it's like, hey, no. All right, I tried.
Yeah. So we see, the fact that Max's father is extremely intelligent, and then we'll see in a moment, it seems like he is someone that the town looks up to as well. Not just that he knows things. He has not necessarily authority, but the respect of the town.
He is a learned elder.
Yeah. Right. Like within their neighborhood. He's got... Mm-hmm.
He's the guy. He's that old guy that everybody had on their street where it's just like, I don't know what to do. Go ask Phil.
Yeah.
And it's just some old guy it's some old guy that's been through a lot and learned a lot. You don't know anything. You don't know his backstory, but
he knows a lot, and he's more than happy to help anybody that needs it.
Yeah. And he's never given you a wrong answer. So it's just like, yep, don't know his background, but he's never steered me wrong. So,
and then we get to one of the most fan servicey things in all of fan service. And I'm gonna play this.
And this is one where they did put a highlight on this one, like a little blatant.
So we see a caravan person walking.
Yeah.
Love the Brahmin.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
I'm so curious to know.
This older guy is just like, oh, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I got my
man, been out in the sun too long. Got his brain fried. Yeah. Whatever. I'm going to save this point for a little later in the episode. Okay. But, yeah.
My one question is, who's making this sign? Who's making this Welcome to Shady Sands sign?
So this sign is a whole thing. It brings up a whole question. But it's not so much who's making these signs, because there are plenty. I mean, Shady Sands has been established, as we know now, not necessarily in this location, for 140, 150 years. Yeah. Since the people from Vault 15 started it, and Aradesh and stuff that we met originally. And so, no, they could paint a sign. They could absolutely paint a sign, create things. You had Michelangelo in New Vegas creating neon lights, and doing those neon signs.
Well, and to even go a touchstone to history. It's like we've been making paint and painting on things for millennia.
This is an established society. Yeah. This is a very established society. I mean, you look at I mean, you'd say that about pretty much every sign in, say, Diamond City or anywhere. Like, no,
Yeah.
signs happen. But
No,
this,
a lot
what
of
I
the
find
signs that we
interesting
see,
is
a lot of the signs we see in like Diamond City just are slapdash.
a
But
bit
yeah.
slapdash, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but this is one of those. It's like it's not beyond like the scope
I
of possibility in an established
Right.
society that somebody could pound out a piece of sheet metal flat and somebody could mix and then paint.
Stencils
Like,
happen. Yeah.
yeah,
For as
like-
far as how neat it is. But
Yeah.
what I find interesting is, the fact that it once again says, "Welcome to Shady Sands, the first capital of the new California Republic." That's something we saw first season. That's something we see here again on revisiting this sign, which I'm not sure it's the same one given the distance from where the crater would be, but maybe. And I just find that interesting because this still gives way to the theory that Shady Sands was not the capital at the time that it was destroyed, or Shady Sands moved, all that. I mean, I know it's a whole lore question they haven't answered. They probably won't answer. But the fact that it says first capital, why would you say that if there's a new capital? Unless there's a new capital.
And the other, like, going back to the first season in that board, there's something on there that says, it's got the date and it says the downfall of Shady Sands.
Right? The fall of Shady Sands.
And now we're seeing Shady Sands on its last day.
Yeah.
There's no fall of Shady, like the fall of Shady Sands was completely external. It wasn't some sort of like, society breaking down and then there was a bomb. No, it was this place is on the verge of clean water for everybody.
Well, and it should have already been there. I mean, it's been there for 100 years at this point. That's why I say it's like more maybe his family, his neighborhood, whatever, they got water running. This does seem a little bit small for how big Shady Sands would be too.
Yeah,
but
this is definitely like a part of a smaller community inside of Shady. Yeah,
the whole whiteboard situation with the 2277 fall of Shady Sands, and then whatever point, boom, blows up. I'm with many people that I just think it was a mistake, and they meant to do 2281, the date of New Vegas. Instead, they did 2277, the date of Fallout 3, but. Maybe in their timeline, there is a point where the original Shady Sands, something happened there. Shady Sands moved, relocated, and this is when this happened. Don't know.
Fair enough.
But they might have renamed, a smaller settlement near the Boneyard as Shady Sands at that point.
Yep.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see this, and then we cut. We won't pull this whole thing up. We can talk about it, but we see the caravan guy walking into town, and then we see Max and his dad, and they're happy. They're just walking into town, and talking is like, oh yeah, maybe one day you'll be as good as me. And Max is like, oh, I'm better than you. Just father and son, just being a father and goddamn son. And his dad's like, all right,
walking across town to the cart called the Live Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, caravan coming to town. Yep.
Yeah, and everybody gathers around. They're like, oh yeah, let's see what the caravan brought today.
It kind of makes me think of like the Wells Fargo wagon. When it came into town. Back in the day, and they would show up, and everybody would come to town to do the trading.
But we get to the caravan. The guy who's walking is now lying on the ground, bleeding from the eyes. He's down. Still just saying, patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter. He dies, and his head turns, and we see the chip on the back of his head. And something that I'm not sure. It doesn't irk me. I'm just like, okay, what made him do this? So Max's dad sees this and then immediately runs over to the caravan stuff and just starts pulling stuff off to see what's there.
Yeah, like he gets that thing. He gets that feeling and is like, that thing's on the back of this dude's head. He only says the one thing. He kind of does a pretty smart thing, which is like, what did this guy just bring into our community?
Yeah.
And as it turns out,
that intelligence stat maxed out.
Yeah, and it was such a shock to see that, but it also, like I was saying, answers some real questions, because when we heard about Shady Sands being nuked, and we found out that it was Hank who had done it, we were all, at least a lot of us, were picturing getting to a silo, somehow getting nuclear codes, launching a missile. But this, as a dirty bomb attached to a nuclear warhead, makes a lot of sense, or a bomb that you would drop.
Yeah.
The way that it was set up.
Yeah, that was a full nuclear bomb. So everything was in there. It just needed, the timer or the altimeter set to, know when to blow that hunk
So
of
much more
plutonium towards
sense.
the other one. Yeah.
Right, and we found nuclear warheads through the divide in New Vegas. We've got like an unexploded bomb of that nature in Megaton.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
this all makes sense, and we know that the science was, while there were missiles, there were plenty of lower yield nuclear bombs that were used, like what this was. And so he didn't need launch codes; he just needed access.
He just
so
needed
much more sense.
something to explode it. Mike, so one, and I'm nitpicking here for sure, but in the first season, when they find the crater of Shady Sands, and Lucy's wearing her Pip-Boy that has the rad counter on it, there's no response to. Like, when they get there, you would think that thing should be going crazy, because even though it was 20 years ago, there would be some sort of residual nuclear energy there. But nothing. But now we see that this was a nuclear explosion.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like, depending on, like, the yield, I mean, like, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the two places that have actually been nuked in real life, like, people are living there. Like, they're back to being cities.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, it's 4 times as long, but yeah, like, depending on what that was, like, yeah, it might not be, like, the Geiger counter might not be going off constantly, but, there would be some amount. But I think that's just kind of one of those, it's like, time has passed and whatever, instead of putting somebody with, like, instead of giving somebody glasses and a white beard, it's just like, and it's cooled down, whatever, let's keep it moving.
Also, in the lore of the show, such as it is, it does seem like they turn it on and off. The Geiger counter would be going off a lot more often, but it would kind of make dialogue a little hard at times. It was constantly clicking at a low level. I do think we would.
Now I want to see that edit of the show. Where the Geiger counter is just constantly going.
It would be. Well, it's one of those. It's just like I do want to real quick shout out to Kyle Hill, one of my favorite science creators on YouTube. He did a video about the most irradiated place in all of Fallout, and he also does explain how, like, the rad meter actually works, and, like, does a lot of the math for you to be like, actually, if you max out the rad meter, you would actually die in real life. It clicking is kind of not something that this type of radiation detection would be doing, but whatever, it's Fallout. This game rules. So, but he's like, they actually did the math to figure out, like, if that rad meter on your Pip-Boy goes all the way up, you will instantly die. Like, that is a lethal dose of radiation in the real world. And I just thought that was, glad
what was the most radiated part?
Yep.
Is it the glowing sea, or?
There was, so he did it for 3. He did it for 3, New Vegas, and 4, and one of them was a place, like, when they were building the game, they anchored, like, where the radiation was, like, emitting from, like, 100 feet in the air. So he had to, like, turn off collision and, like, fly up to see that it was, like, 3,000 rads a second or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Fallout London, the mod, for Fallout 4, great mod, first off, but the water that they have in that game is much more, it's much higher radiation than, like, in other games, and it's pretty much, if you go into water, that rad thing is just spiking almost immediately, and you're dying unless you have like a few seconds grace period, but no.
Yeah. Like, the River Thames is glowing.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great how they did that, with the low-lying nuclear radiation pollution and how it would fall. I mean, the Thames has a history of being polluted, even if they've cleaned it up a bit. So.
Wait a minute. Jess, you mean to tell me a river in a major industrialized city has a problem with pollution?
Without working sewage and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's Fallout London, great. Shout out to Mantis again. He and I are both in that game, which one of the biggest honors, as NPCs.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Yep. Mantis is a vendor. I'm a vendor too. Up in Cambridge area. Yeah.
You guys are in a game with Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put that towards the top of the resume.
Yeah. By the way, if you have his number, we'll talk after this. Yeah, we'll do a Baldur's Gate episode. I don't know.
We'll figure out something.
Whatever. But yeah, so we see the downfall of Shady Sands, and we see I legitimately was crying by the end of this scene. Seeing, we see his dad find the bomb, and then, like we said a minute ago, he's got that. He's got the respect from the community when he yells "run." Everybody's
get out of there.
He knows what the hell he's talking about. We're gonna run, but he stays behind because he's the engineer, and he's like, I'm gonna try to save this thing, and he does, which
sort of.
Well, it makes it even more heartbreaking because he opens it up. He's very, very, very gentle. Opens it up, has his little his binocular thing on, and he cuts the power to it, and he does stop the bomb, but the bomb has a failsafe.
Yep.
Which then just covers everything, and it gives a 3-minute timer, and then we see. Go ahead.
I was about to say he had enough of a skill to make the check, but it was such a high number. It's just like in like D&D, it's just like, all right, man, I'll give it to you, but you got to roll a 20 with
Sometimes
disadvantage. Good
checks.
luck. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, roll that one again for me. Ooh, 3? That's not going to do it, my friend. I love that you tried, and I never want you to stop. Go ahead and get a fresh character sheet for me.
But we see him get home. That counter starts, and he just immediately is like, "We're fucked."
It's just running, telling everybody to run.
Yeah,
get out of there. Just oh my god, that was.
Yeah,
that I think might be some of the best writing in the scenes in the series so far.
Yeah.
It was very heartfelt, and I do think that they showed us the thriving community specifically to just emphasize how bad the destruction was.
Yeah. To emphasize that not just Shady Sands is gone, but it's like, no, this wasn't just taking off something from the map that was overdue. No. This was a place that was thriving, that was on the verge now, especially of being able to support itself. Even more than it already is, because it is.
Like this wasn't a name on a map. This wasn't a place to pop in and reload on supplies. It was like this was a community with families and generations of families in there. And then, oh boy, thanks, Hank.
You dick.
God, now it's just like I want Cooper to just choke the life out of him. And I kind of want it to that scene to happen in real time.
not like a TV show where you choke somebody and they die in 5 seconds.
It takes a minute to actually do this.
Because keep cutting back and forth to other things, and Cooper's like, "No, I'm still doing this. I'm still doing this."
Someone from Vault-Tec bringing the worst of the old world forward to the new world. It was such an emotional scene, seeing it fail, and we know, because we already knew that Hank was behind it, and it's funny. I occasionally think of him as Coop because of his past characters, but we knew he was behind it. But then you cut to the scene of someone washing their hands, and it's Hank washing his hands of this, and you can tell he's somewhat, absorbing what he's done, but thinking it had to be done. He's resolved,
Yep, the line must go up, and I made the line continue to go up. So let's go read my daughter
before we
book.
see that, we see Max's parents, Max's dad, emptying out the fridge that we see Max in the first season, putting him in the fridge and being like, "Stay here. Someone's gonna come get you.
Eat and drink very
slowly." And they close the door and
I love that before he closes the door, he's still got that big bright smile on his face that could light up a room.
Yeah.
His mom's doing his best to hold it back. You could see as he's saying these things to Max, it's getting harder and harder, but he knows he needs to be like, I can't panic because it's going to make him panic worse.
Yeah.
And I love that before he closes it, he's like, you're a good kid and someday you're going to be a good man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those words, just kind of jumping ahead, I think those words always stuck with Max and now are weighing heavier on him than they have in the past.
Yeah. The more that he does with the Brotherhood of Steel, the more
the more and more he's just like,
yeah, because he was at that age where it was very cognizant of what's going on. It's not like he was 3 years old or 4 years old and he's like, oh, what? No, he knew his parents. He loved his parents. He loved his life. And
he
then
can tell you things about his parents that are like not just like, oh, daddy's a man and mommy's a woman. It's just like, no, my dad had a name, my mom had a name. Like this is where like that's
this
their
is
names.
what we were doing the day that the bomb fell on us.
This was their favorite foods. This was their favorite things to do. Like he knew that, like however old he was, it's like he knew enough. Like he knew his parents, he knew his neighbors.
Yeah, but then we, oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
It roots us into the flashback scene that we saw maybe too many times first season when we saw, Max being kid in the fridge, and we joked about it with Indiana Jones with the Billy kid in the fridge thing. And, and we saw that scene a number of times, but catching the lead up to that.
Oh God. Now
and
it's
just thinking that he was in there for probably a couple hours or longer.
Or days even.
Out, maybe days until he heard things happening and was able to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they close the door because they know that that's the only one that's going to get out of this is going to be him in that door. And
they don't even know, right?
They're just they are blindly like they're doing what every desperate parent does. Just like this is the best option right now. God, I hope I'm not fucking this up.
Yeah. And as they're talking to each other, being like, we raised him right, it just gets cut off by the explosion, goes to white, and then, like I said, it comes back to somebody washing their hands. And camera pans up, and it's literally Hank washing the blood off of his own hands, metaphorically, and thinking, I did it.
The hand washing symbolizes symbolism.
Yeah.
Yep. And you hear a child's voice from the other room calling Dad, and he's gonna go in.
Dad, come read to me, and he just okie dokie.
Yep.
And goes into the other room, takes his Pip-Boy off, puts it on the table, and we see detonation successful. And then that's that for him. It was just a thing that he did.
Yep. It was a thing. It was a difficult task at work he had to do.
It was somebody's got to do it, and it's got to be me because I'm the manager of everything, I guess.
Fucking manage. God damn it. Just some of the dumb. Just everybody out there. I just want to tell you this as a guy who's worked under enough people to know. Some of the dumbest people you will ever meet will be your supervisor or your manager. And they are in that position because they're too stupid to get promoted further, but they're too smart to get demoted because they've seen how the sausage is made.
That's definitely the joke. That's definitely the joke with the whole buds thing and management. Yeah. That, obviously there are plenty of competent managers out there, but the idea of management as the ruling class, no.
Just take that word of wisdom. Like, my manager at work right now, cool, smart, funny guy. I love Benny to death. I've had so many other managers where it's just like, how did you do this? And I don't mean get to your position. I mean, how did you make it to work today fully dressed? And it seems like, and we're going to get into this here pretty soon, but like, it seems like there's a healthy mix of that in Bud's Buds.
Yeah. But one thing there's also another line from young Lucy as he sits down to start reading it. You hear her say, "When's mommy coming home?"
I did not. I don't think I caught that at the time. I was too watching the Pip-Boy and the detonation success.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that. God damn it.
But it's as we know now, and now Lucy knows in the present. Mommy's not coming home, and she didn't die, which is most unfortunate. She was ghoulified, and
God damn. What did you fucking do, Henry McLean?
Yeah, he likes Hank. He goes by Hank.
Fine.
I don't think Mike cares what he likes.
I don't give a
God damn.
You will. A lot of my builds for these games, it's just like unstoppable moron out to do good. So it's just like the most chaotic good, but also the dumbest thing you could possibly have. So it's like, no. if this were turned into a game, it'd be like, yes, my purpose is to beat Hank to death with my bare hands. So I don't care what he wants to be called.
It's gonna beat the hell out of him while calling him Harry.
I do love. Oh, real quick, I do love that they have made me hate the character of Hank so much. Like that's something I haven't felt in the TV show in a while. Like, I hate the character, not like the stuff that they. I hate a lot of characters because it's just like, oh, this started off great, and then you like the writer's room turned over. The show went in a different direction, so you had to do something drastically different. Now this character's terrible. No.
A true villain, which is something we don't, or feels like a true villain, which is something we don't get that often in the Fallout series. You know, it's usually shades of gray, sometimes darker shade of gray, like Mr. House is showing to be, but from some perspectives, which is why some people jumping in, you know, to defend him. And I don't feel like Mr. House would do some of these things. It's all where you're coming from. You know, it's all when you see this person. If you saw Hank in the vault the last 20 years, you would think what an upstanding guy in a lot of ways. We don't, you know, maybe you knew a little more, but it's all, you know, the window to get into their life. And he's definitely turned.
He's especially now seeing him wherever, you know, this Vault Tech thing, which I'm still under the assumption that's under Vault 21. That's Vault 21 right there. That's the Vault Tech thing is under Vault 21. It's under where House, you know, got the concrete, you know, but whatever. But you see him there now, and he's actually in his element, because remember, he is pre-war. He knew what life was like. He's from that world, and this world is an uncivilized world full of uncivilized people who are not important to him. He
was a pre-war office drone.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you got. So put him in a place where it's just like, hey, here's a task that may never get done that you might not be qualified to do. Here's coffee and like 500,000 messages you got to respond to. Hank is happier than a pig in shit right now.
Yeah.
He is. And he's also been so much more. I mean, he has been overseer for a long time of a vault. And we're learning from the conversation that maybe he was doing more. He was maybe a more ambitious junior executive than some. Maybe had, you know, connections and double agent kind of status. So, I really like Hank. I mean, hate him.
No, hate him.
I really like the character.
Yeah, hate Hank as like if Hank were a real person. Hate him. Love what they're doing with him. This is just, please keep doing these things. Throw me curveballs, writers. I love this.
So we cut to modern day. When we say modern day, we just mean what's going on in the Fallout series as of now. So modern day in the series.
Right.
Maximus, in his power armor, mowing down ghouls.
Just with a look on his face, just like, yeah, I have to get this laundry done because it's on my bed and I need to go to sleep.
Yeah. This is just a task that has to be done right now. These aren't things I need to get here to find whatever the hell I was sent here to get.
Yeah.
And as they're mowing down ghouls, and they find this piece, and the other knight is like, "What is this?" And he's like,
"Is this what we came for?" And Max was like, "It doesn't matter. Just pack it up and report to the Vertibird."
Yeah,
yeah, because he doesn't know exactly what it is necessarily. This is the classic knight following orders, you know. And I assume Maximus is still a knight, like he hasn't been promoted yet to any kind of paladin or anything like that. It's only been, I mean, we don't know how long it's been exactly since the end of the first episode. We can assume a few weeks, you know, because Norm's still alive and living on rations down there. And, you know, they've made it to the edge of, you know, the Mojave, or they're in the Mojave at this point. And so, it's no more than a month, I would say, right? Yeah. But Max has started to fulfill his role here. But I found myself, when they were fighting through there, a little bit worried, like, is there showing a change in Max's character that he's just shooting the ghouls indiscriminately without, you know, what if some of them are, you know, actually still human, or you know, still have their minds, not feral? But I mean, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing, you know, and he is just shooting through them. Yeah,
I think if there would have been just even one ghoul, even like a non-feral ghoul who was like, don't shoot, and then he, you know, shoots, that'd be one thing. But all of the ghouls that he's shooting are, you know, running at them, and they are clearly feral.
And he's grown up in the Wasteland, so he's very used to these situations.
So we see that they get it back on the Vertibird, and then they oh god, I loved seeing the vertibird get up to the airship and getting, you know,
The way it
connected
locked in
into
and
it.
folded.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that was so goddamn cool.
Which is, there were, in like the early 20th century, there were a lot of ideas of how we could use rigid airships as like mobile platforms for launching these little short range fighters and things. And I just loved how they were just, somebody like looked at these drawings or watched like a Mustard on YouTube. He does a lot of stuff around this sort of thing. Like they just watched one of his videos and were like, yeah, that would make sense for this. Let's go with it. You know?
Yeah. No,
And
I loved seeing that.
Oh,
I thought
so
it was
good. Yeah.
so cool. But yeah, he gets off and he's got this thing. He gives it to the elder Quintus, and he's like, "What is this?" Because once again, he doesn't care. He was just, this was the mission. He's like, "What is this?" And Quintus is like, gives it to somebody, and he's like, "This is the key to our new home." In between this, we see, you know, two Brotherhood people like running through, you know, like walking through the dunes and everying, and they stumble
an
on
old playground.
Yeah, an old
kind of rocket toy slide. Like
with the rocket toy. They open up the rocket toy, and there's like a whole thing in there.
A panel. There's like a panel. Yeah.
And yeah, then it cuts back to up top, and I don't know if this was him, or if you guys know who this person is. Was that Scott Foley from Kids in the Hall? Who was the person on the ship? Who then, like, who was like, oh, yeah, oh, we're good here. And, like, gave him the thumbs up and then went and turned it. Was that Scott Foley from Kids in the Hall?
Hold on. No.
No.
Now we're going to high-speed scrub.
It's funny. You say, I was thinking you meant Dave Foley, you know, who voiced Yes Man in New Vegas, which would have been a nice tie-in since he's the voice of Yes Man and bringing him in there. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yes Man, the guy I put in charge of the independent emirate of New Vegas in my last playthrough.
I'm going within this playthrough. My current playthrough is New Vegas. I'm playing fully modded on PC right now, and I haven't done the Yes Man ending. I've done NCR. I've done Mr. House, of course, but I haven't done Legion or Yes Man. I mean, even though this is my fourth full playthrough, getting to an ending. Yeah, I'm finally doing it.
The Yes Man ending rules. It's like, yeah, what are you gonna do when, like, you don't have to, like, you don't necessarily care about this? It's like, yeah, let the fucking robot take care of this. I don't care, because that's kind of where I was.
Jess, you are correct. I was thinking Dave Foley, not Scott Foley.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was another Scott Foley.
Is this Dave Foley?
No.
Look at his face, though. Like, it looks like Dave Foley.
I wish we could pull up. It does a little bit. I wish we could pull up the.
It does look a little bit like him, but also, this is what Dave Foley looks like now. Like, he is a nice old Canadian man.
Oh, you're saying Canadians can't be in the Brotherhood of Steel? Wow, it's fucked up. I'm telling Charisma.
You go ahead and you tell those Canadians what I've been saying.
Yeah, shout out to Captain Canuck. I have a friend who is a Brotherhood of Steel role player too.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
See, Canadians can be in the Brotherhood of Steel.
Hey, real quick, Cozy, I know you might be listening to this. Could you DM me your address? I got something I need to send you. So,
but yeah, they turn the key on, and we see the shot from the trailers that we saw of these giant things coming out of the sand. They are giant fans, which I thought once again, this was just cool as shit. These giant fans come up. They turn on, and they just blow out all the sand to get to Area 51, which has been there the entire time, covered in nature in a way that I've never seen before. Jess, what were you gonna say?
It's very reminiscent of Hidden Valley too, where the Hidden Valley chapter from New Vegas, where the Brotherhood are down, and they're in the area with the large fans that keep it covered all the time. I forget the name of the project off the top of my head, but the dervish camouflage, something like that. Anyway, it's very reminiscent of that. So I really liked it. And at first, I'm like, oh my god, are we Hidden Valley bunker? Are we kind of uncovering it? But no, it wasn't.
No, Area 50 goddamn 1. But before we get to go see what's inside, we cut to Lucy and the ghoul walking through the desert. And as they're walking, talking just about things, and Lucy mentions Dickens, and is like, "Yeah, there was a story by Dickens that was really great."
By Charles Dickens about this thing.
And then we cut to them.
Nope.
Still walking, and they hear. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I just remember they cut to later on, and then she's like, yeah, and then after the third ghost leaves, he's pretty much cured, and it's like that's a.
Yeah, so I love that reference. It's establishing. She's like, when your family meets you, do you want them to like who you
exactly.
are?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was neat, and the Dickens thing. I'm taking that as a reference to Wasteland Theatre Company, because we did Dickens' Christmas Carol in Fallout 76 with the Wasteland Theatre, and so yeah, took that as a reference. Loved it.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of this conversation, Lucy hears somebody yelling, and she stops, but Cooper is just like walking. He doesn't care because he's.
I love what he says.
Yeah. What is it?
You got that written down?
Empathy's like mud. You lose your boots in that shit.
Yeah.
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 He has the best one-liners. I mean, he really does.
Well, I mean, if you've been alive, continuously, like, you got a lot of time and a lot of experience to be able to spin a yarn. So, like,
you've got a lot of.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Has a lot of wisdom. The Ghoul, as much as we can dislike the character, his experience has led to. He's right more than not. Even if we don't like his solution, even if we think he's wrong in his choices, and Lucy certainly will as it goes on. Yep. He's got a lot of knowledge to draw on.
Yeah, and he's got knowledge of this world, and for in some ways he also has knowledge of how Lucy's grown up. Because even though he wasn't in the vault, he is from the old world, and he is from that that quote unquote civilization where people are sheltered and they are safe. So he knows where she's coming from, because I would imagine that's probably what he was trying to be like at the beginning.
He worked very closely with Vault Tech for years too. We know a couple years he was right in there with Vault Tech. So definitely know.
So it's probably he. I think definitely sees himself in Lucy as this naive vault dweller who's out on the surface now and wants to bring is like, oh, this is how the world works. The golden rule, which is what this episode is called, actually, the golden rule. And he's just had 200 more years on top of that, of now seeing what the world's become. And being like, the golden rule is not, this isn't the world for the golden rule anymore.
No.
Like that line from the first season, I'm you, sweetheart. Just give it some time.
Exactly. Yeah. And it seems that at the time it sounded like maybe he was just being an asshole, but I think that is the case, although I hope it's not exactly that, because I love the character of Lucy, and I love that she is trying to be the good person in this world. And I would hate it if it just turned into, like, she just turned into some cynical character who was just the ghoul, but a human.
I think they know they can't do that for the character. Like, I mean, the Wasteland can chew people up, give it a few years. But I do feel that it's very important for her to be the Vault Dweller, for her to have that, continual optimism and trying to believe in the good in people. Yeah. And that is something, some people might say, oh, it's unrealistic on that. Well, maybe not. Some of us hold on to it for a long time,
Yeah. They're Disney adults. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and then what, kind of going on what Jessica was saying, it's like, Cooper's had 200 years to sit and stew. Like, he saw how the world ended. So, like, he knows all this. Lucy, like, she has had far less time to, like, sit and dwell on this. So I think that not having all that time to just kind of sit there and occasionally be broken out to go do some clandestine thing for the dude who has the most caps.
Yeah.
All 16 of those caps in there. Yeah, go ahead and open that while let me make this.
Your cap stashes, nice.
Yeah, go ahead and open that while I make this point. Yeah, just from like her story is going to wrap up much sooner than Cooper's will. And that lack of like just not having the same amount of time to deal with these emotions, I think she is still going to keep her, Like
right.
some of that
She's
goodness.
lost some of her illusions. She is starting to see what Vault Tech could be, but she also sees them as a force for good in her life in a lot of ways. So it's a conflict right now.
Yeah. Yep. The bottle opener.
That thing is massive.
Sweet.
I love it.
And it's magnetized, so
And it's magnetized.
you can stick it on.
Yeah, if you can. This is gonna fuck up my camera again, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
love it. We can see it.
yeah. And then it's shaped like a giant bottle cap, and
Yeah, it's
the
for the
bottle cap
twist
opener on the
offs.
top.
So
Yep.
yeah. And then you got the
God damn it!
three...
Oh no, it fixed itself.
Look at that.
And then it's got a few bottle caps inside, one of each.
Yep,
So-
one of each. So
Oh man, yeah, that is really cool. I like that.
yeah.
But I think at the maybe by the end of one of their stories,
Oh,
like I said, I don't want this to be the case, and I don't think it's going to be the case. Like Jess said, I think they know who Lucy is, and they know who she's supposed to be.
yeah.
I think it's going to. We're going to see Cooper reverting more back to his pre-war self, being around her. Even if in this episode we may have gotten a step back again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when this is all said and done, Cooper is going to soften up, but not to like Lucy's level, and Lucy's going to harden up, but not to Cooper's level. Like they're going to find an in-between where Cooper can still be like, yeah, okay, I'm sure you want to go help these people, but you do realize like
Absolutely.
they're going to lead you into that holler and then just fill you with every sort of thing they can fire out of their weapons, right?
Yeah.
She's not going to redeem him, and he's not going to redeem himself. I don't think he can at this point. But you can see more of the Cooper Howard come through in the Ghoul over time.
Oh yeah.
And remembering a little bit more about who he is.
Yeah, she won't redeem him, and he won't break her.
Yeah.
But yeah, they hear her yelling, and she essentially is like, we're gonna go help this person because they can't just walk away from somebody yelling. And Cooper's like, fine, whatever, and is just following her because she's as of right now she's his key to Vault Tech, to finding his family. And they end up
I just love what he
Affordable
says before.
Al's discount hospital.
Yeah, before they go into Affordable Al's, Lucy's like, well, I can't just walk away when somebody is screaming. And Cooper says, they've been screaming for 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is such a good metaphor, because obviously she hasn't, whoever's screaming right now hasn't been, unless it's a recording, like from cabins or something in 76.
This could be a trap.
Did you see the subtitle under the sign, too, about Affordable Owls?
No.
Is it half off lobotomies?
Revolutionary treatment for new plague at low prices. And the fact it was a reference to the new plague in a canon thing, I love to see that, because they have completely glossed over it in recent Fallouts. The new plague happening in the 2050s, and it was a big thing that kind of fueled America's isolationism, and also led to West Tech research and creating FEV out of that, even though they couldn't find a full cure. And the new plague had died down a bit, by the time of the Great War when that happened. But yeah, it was a huge motivating factor in world politics through the 2050s.
Yeah. Oh damn. Yeah, I missed that sign.
Yeah, I forgot
I was
about
just
the
so
new
happy
plague.
with Affordable Al's Discount Hospital that I was like,
Classic.
So perfect.
Yeah.
We had that with the foot last time too, that they gave Wilzig, right? Like, a lot of cheap medicine alternatives.
Yeah. But
man.
another thing that we kind of glossed over, when back on the ship between Quintus and Max, Quintus, I think he knows exactly what he's doing and getting into Max's head, trying to be like, yeah, we're gonna make this new thing. Me as the head, you as the sword, and he's pretty much like, thank you for this, my son, and he walks away.
Yeah,
and you get the slight smile from Max at you. He smile and slight smile like Max. And again, we know that Max wants to be a good person, but we also know Max wants to belong and be accepted. And where he's at now in the Brotherhood is where he's wanted to be for a long time. So he's doing good where he can, and he still thinks that right now the Brotherhood may be the best option for doing good. Since we're back there, I want to say Quintus said one more thing that I wrote down too that I thought was interesting. When he talks about the technology is, the key to our new home. And he mentions that there are dozens of rival chapters, and that's an important thing to mention about the Brotherhood. He says the word dozens, and we know that they split off. Like originally, after they were fighting the NCR and started losing a good 6 to 8 chapters kind of moved off. Hidden Valley was just one of them, but they were all kind of isolated, and that just happened more and more over time, which we'll get to a few of them later. But that separate evolution of the Brotherhood leads to a lot of understanding about maybe why this Brotherhood isn't quite like we know them, because outside of, Arthur Max and bringing them back together a little bit and establishing communication, the Commonwealth becoming dominant, which we'll talk about in the future again too, they diverged a lot, and they haven't had a central authority in a long time, and their codes have definitely changed.
Yeah.
But sorry, we are entering Affordable Owls.
Yeah, we're at Affordable Owls. We hear the screaming, and we see them walking through, to try to find the screaming. And as we're walking through, we see, you see what looked to be even maybe more recent corpses. At least more recent blood on some like gurneys and stuff. They make their way to the basement where they hear a woman screaming and find her.
Where you get the fun notification, dog meat has found something.
Yeah.
Yes. To the left, weight loss. To the right, lobotomies.
Yeah. But Lucy sees a person in pain and injured, whereas Cooper sees the tunics and knows this isn't instantly is like these people don't
awful far west, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was another great reference. See, this is the way that they incorporate things that really kind of key in for fans, but in a good way, because it makes sense. The ghoul is immediately suspicious and not inclined to help her, where of course Lucy is.
And Lucy,
now, I wish they talked here a little bit more about that at some point, but they didn't really have time, did they?
No. Well, no, they didn't, for a good reason. But yeah, Lucy is like, I've got one more stim pack, and he says that would be a grave misallocation of resources. Which is like, come on, man, that's okay. Yeah. But right, even Cooper, before that,
dial down the Western talk.
Yeah, but before she can really do anything, they hear another person. And in my mind, I don't know about you guys, but when we heard the screaming and they were walking towards it, I was assuming this was going to be a setup. Like these were people who were just here to rob. This is a trap. Yeah, this is a trap to get people down there and then to kill them and rob them. And then especially as you're walking in on the gurneys and you see more of that fresh blood, you're like, oh, this is going to be a trap.
I was suspicious of it. I mean, of course. Like, we're in the wasteland. Everything could be a trap.
Yeah,
We've played through these enough to know.
But you still go when they call for help. That's the ball in us.
Yeah.
There'd be loot in there.
But then we get to, we go down there, and then there's another person, a male, who is also injured. And
I love that I love that we don't immediately see what their injuries are. They're just on the ground and in pain.
Yeah.
Which I also, like, Lucy's just like, oh, they're on the ground and they're in pain. And Cooper is probably like, yeah.
Why?
But from what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are they sitting on?
And we see him pull out a knife, and he walks over to the guy, and he's like, oh, let me help you up there. Grabs his hand,
and then immediately
just slits this dude's throat.
He goes back and he hits him again, because you hear him, see and hear him do it once, and then they, cut away, and you hear him go again.
Yeah. It cuts to Lucy, who's like, what the fuck? And then he gets up, and he's like, at least you led us to dinner.
Cuts a piece off.
Takes a bite.
His cannibalism, the fact that he's got the cannibal perk,
yeah.
Ugh, I mean, if there was a character too, it makes sense. It makes sense ever since Ass Jerky. But my goodness,
I just love how everybody in this so far seems to have the Wild Wasteland perk. Just and here's some random shit for you.
But then, so he takes the bite, and as he's chewing on it, he starts to gag, and he spits it out, and immediately knows that something is wrong with that meat. Goes back over. Turns the guy over, and he's got a giant,
pustulating wound.
Green, mutated wound. Not mutated, but yeah.
Necrosis is setting in. Something very bad has happened to this guy in this one particular spot.
Yeah.
And so many things go through your head when you see that. The ghoul probably recognizes the type of poison it is. But I'm like, what do they come in? I'm thinking rad toads. I'm thinking, gulpers again. I'm thinking, what if this was actually a new plague research facility or a health facility? What if they had samples, live samples on site that were discovered and taken out of quarantine? Don't know.
Yeah, I was like, did somebody just stab these two with like a poison tipped thing, drop them in there, just waiting for like the next group of suckers to come through.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's when we hear the noise immediately.
And we hear the scuttling through the vents.
Fucking skittering. God damn it. I hate that sound so much.
And we see just the most disgustingly beautiful radscorpions.
So well done, but I want to nuke the Mojave again.
Yes, little smaller ones that they kind of get off of them, and then
like bark scorpions for these ones, like bark scorpion size.
Yeah. And then there's a door that is blocked off. That as they're hearing the scuttling before they actually attack, Cooper is walking over to the door because he hears something over there, and one jumps out at him. He kills this smaller one, and then something is pounding on this door and moving this giant equipment out of the way. And breaks through, knocks him down, and it is just a giant rad scorpion. Once again, it's so beautiful. It's so disgusting.
Just so well done.
Really well done. Yeah.
And it grabs one of the smaller ones and just there's that close up almost of it like getting it into its mouth and eating it right in front of them.
Just so gross.
So they're fighting off the smaller ones, and then this bigger one is trying to attack Cooper. Who ends up pulling this woman on top of him because it's about to stab him in the heart with its stinger.
Shield.
And Lucy sees it and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Pulls him away. Pulls her away. He gets stabbed in the leg. And then God, it's just the whole scene is so gross, and I loved it so much. I was so smiling so much. He pulls out. He grabs his belt. He grabs a grenade, and then just shoves it into a hole. In the rat
into its maw.
Yes. And it's just it looked like actually it was like it wasn't into the mouth. It was like into a hole on its side.
Underneath the shit near the actual skeleton a little bit.
He found a soft spot. Whole hand in there and he's like, "Fuck you, sweetheart." Kicks it, pushes it off, rolls over, and this thing just explodes.
Which is well done. And the whole battle too, it's so interesting. So we all come at it from a game perspective. And we fought many rad scorpions and giant rad scorpions, but they stay on the ground. They don't jump on tables. They don't manipulate over. You know what I mean? It's a vertical fight when you're in the game. Maybe you're jumping and jetpacking a little, but it's, you're using bats, you're aiming, you're crouching behind things. And so to have that, we're on the floor on our back, which is not something you do in the game unless, you get knocked prone. And to have like the different angles, it's really neat seeing that brought to life.
Yeah. And we see like there's I'm not even sure if this is a reference or if it's just more of a, hey, this is what it would kind of look like, but almost a reference to like Aliens with the face hugger on Lucy's face, and she has to like rip it off and then grabs a frying pan and smashes it, and she's killing a few of them. One of them jumps on this woman who's injured, and she hits it off, with the frying pan, and Lucy is trying to save this woman and also survive, and Cooper is like, all I can think about right now is survival because this giant motherfucker is trying to eat my face. And once again, that close-up of the mouth, just everything moving around. Ugh, gross, beautiful. He's hit, and she, we've already established she only has the one stim pack. The woman is like, "Help me," and Cooper's like, "Give me the stim pack, I need it."
Yeah, she's got to make a choice, and obviously she's going to help Cooper, right? But you see her moving, and does he do the line here? Or does he do the line after? So
she helps the woman, and then he's like golden rule
muffin humper. Yeah.
And then she's just like, the golden rule is for people. You are disgusting. And I'm like,
okay, whoa. Like that whole thing. So you can understand why she chose her, because she says she was going to die without it. You'll live. You'll survive. And I mean, she's right about that. She's right about that. Although her chances of survival may go down a little bit without the gold. But, just saying. But the choice makes sense, and she'll come back for him. Because he is very durable.
Yeah. When she says, she's like, and people, I'm like, people are good. So when I when I get back from dropping her off, or when I drop her off, I'm going to come back for you. And you know,
Right.
100%, she is going to come back for him.
Mhm.
She's not just saying that to leave.
You know, 100%
Yeah.
she intends to.
She
Absolutely.
intends to go help this person back to where she's from, and then be like, cool, bye, because that's how people do things.
When she said that whole, the golden rule is for people at first, I mean, I definitely got some anti-ghoul sentiment there. At
Yeah.
first, I'm like, Lucy. I mean, but I get it because from what she's seen of some ghouls, I mean, not all, but a couple, but especially the ghoul. And that's when, she clarifies, and it's obviously personal. It's more about him and his actions.
Yeah.
You know, at the time when she said to him, "What are you?" in the past,
Yeah.
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 But she really hit him.
I get
hit him
where
with
you're
a
coming
you
from with, like,
people.
with the, anti-ghoul sentiment, but no, it's definitely
Oh yeah.
it's for people, and you are not people because you're not
His actions.
you're not a person in this world. Doesn't matter that you're a ghoul, you are just not of this world. You are horrible, terrible, you're a monster.
Yeah.
You're not a person, you're a monster. You're not a monster because you're a ghoul, you're a monster because you're a piece of shit.
And again, I mean, I don't know if she's going that far with it. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, you're not a person. But in this moment, she definitely feels that. Like, you know, you don't act. You've got to act human to be part of it for her.
Yeah. So, and I think this is probably when we get to, we now cut to Vault 31.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a few things out of order here.
No, that's right, basically. Although when he says golden rule, Muffin Humper, do you know like why he was saying it? Like golden rule is in she should have helped him do unto others as you'd have do unto you. So by her not helping him, maybe he wouldn't help her.
Oh yeah,
was that the intimation? What do you think he meant by it?
That's what I got. Is that she's like if I didn't give her the stim pack, she will die. You will not. So in his mind, he wanted the stim pack because he just wanted to not be in pain anymore, not because he wasn't going to live. So when he's like, golden rule, motherfucker, he's like, yeah, when I'm back from this, I'm going to remember this.
I also think it could be like, because he recognized like the tunics. Like he knows this is bad news. He's just like, yeah, see where this whole golden rule do unto others gets you when you're taken to a place where, boy howdy, these people never forgot about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. The fact that, I mean, it's Legion. We all recognize Legion, and he recognizes Legion, and he doesn't tell her about Legion because there's not really much time. But he does at least say, at some point, I don't remember the exact line, but essentially, these aren't people you want to trust, or,
These are not, this is not good.
Yeah. Just by recognizing those, he references the woman's toga first, and then obviously say the guy next. But
Yeah. So go down to Vault 31. We've got Norm there, who is now woken everybody up, and I called it. I called it last week. When he was opening everything up and everything was thawing out, and there were some of the tubes that were up and angled. As people are waking up, we just see somebody fall down, and I was like,
yeah, we did have one fall.
Yep,
yeah.
I saw it. and then who is it? Claudia, I think, is standing there, and she's like, "Am I supposed to be able to see yet?" And you hear the person fall, and she's just like, "Is she good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Takes a little while. It's such a scene, though. The chaos is easy. It's interesting because he opened them up, and I mean, didn't get an exact count of how many people. It feels like 18 to 20, maybe that he's got there. More than 10, but there are still a number of cryotubes behind. Right? It feels like he only just got the first section.
Yeah,
and
I'm wondering if this
is it Reclamation Day?
Yeah, is it Reclamation Day? Yeah,
sorta.
Plans have changed. Who are you exactly, Claudia? Plans have changed. Ugh.
We're trying to have a conversation. Just like, oh man, you can take the man out of the 50s, but you can't take the 50s out of the man.
Like it definitely felt like those two worked together, and he was just immediately like, oh god, she's here again. Oh my god. But as
you didn't assign us any homework.
Yeah, as they're getting up, I think it's even that character who's like, what's going on? I thought this was going to be like a one-by-one situation. Yeah, and he's like, plans have changed. And they're locked in, and these lower middle management people have no goddamn idea what's happening, and they just start freaking out because somebody ate the crackers from the welcome thing.
From the survival kit.
Norm to survive, but they're their welcome kit. Yeah, the whole thing is interesting. I like the way that they brought the Reclamation Day thread through.
Hold on.
Because
I don't yell at my dogs real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
carry on without me. I'll be back in a second.
So I don't know if Reclamation Day was referenced previous to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the whole idea of the vaults were part of the survival project. And I mean, it's even emblazoned on the doors. But Reclamation Day as a phrase, I'm not sure if it was mentioned prior to 76. But I like the fact that they've kind of made this a thing throughout that Vault-Tec was actually, using as part of their propaganda, as part of their plan. You know, because we hear it here, we're going to hear it again later. And that's the idea. That Reclamation Day is the day we emerge to the surface. We will emerge, which is such a huge theme.
We will emerge to reclaim everything. And it very well could have been before 76, but with 76 now being, 7 years old, it's like, in my mind, thinking about Fallout and thinking about hearing Reclamation Day, I am only thinking 76. Because that's what we did at the beginning of 76. It's Reclamation Day. Let's get out there and rebuild the world. But yeah, this scene of Norm waking up these pre-war people, and they are just the most entitled, clueless people that have been woken up from this thing, and they did such a good job of being like, these are not vault dwellers that we know of. They've been in a vault for 200 years, but no, these are people from before the war, expecting, oh, I'm awake. We're all awake now. That means everything's fixed, right? And then he's like, no, Bud's dead. But then we actually see Bud is just upside down in a garbage can trying to
he says, unfortunately, Bud is
Unfortunately,
dead.
Bud's dead.
But,
he's like, no, not Bud.
I don't feel like the people are incompetent. We actually, they are just out of their element and not sure what to expect. We know that they're relatively competent because they have we talked about the joke about management earlier, and capability. But they are obviously competent in certain areas. Many of them vary. I mean, Betty, Stephanie, and Hank all came from 31. They're all from this training program too, and they're good at managing vaults. They're good with people. They have these skills.
Even if Steph doesn't know how to use
all
a
of them
terminal
will.
At all.
Well, no, I don't know that that's the case. So I heard you guys talking about it last episode, and she does ask if you're any good with computer stuff because she's having trouble. But the reason she's having trouble, if you look at the terminal, it's intervault communications, which you then flash to where Norm is in the vault, and he's actually ripped out some wires and been messing with stuff. So I actually think that they can't communicate with Bud in Vault 31. Maybe intervault communications have been damaged, and that's what she can't do with the terminal.
Bud does mention that Norm has broken the intervault communications when he's pulling stuff. So Bud does mention that. So
that's what she's having trouble with. It's not that she can't use a terminal completely. She just doesn't maybe have the aptitude to do this sort of thing, like wire communications down, to bug fix this. Which Betty also mentions, Norm being away on some kind of special training thing. So Betty must know that Norm's been locked up. I think Betty does know that from what she said last episode. But I don't know if 33 and 32 are able to talk right now, Betty and 32, or else maybe they'd be able to help more with the water chip. And I don't know if Betty can actually communicate easily with 31, or else they'd be able to help with the water chip. So I do think there's more going on there. And maybe Betty, when she says that, is just making excuses for Norm away, knowing that he went,
that
tried to escape something and is maybe dead. Yeah. Right. But she doesn't know what's going on there because intervault communication is down. So that's the whole Stephanie terminal thing, in my opinion. I don't think she's
fair.
that
incompetent. No, that's a great point. Yeah. You good, Mike?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Had to yell at the dogs and then bribe them with a Slim Jim to be good.
Fair enough. So everybody in there is kind of like, realistically, and makes sense. Everyone in there is freaking out because there's no food. All the food's been eaten. There's no water. They're all awake when they were specifically told before they went under that, hey, we're going to pull you in one by one. You've become part of this whole thing, blah, blah, blah. And then we cut back to Maximus, because once again, a lot of this episode... Or no, do we cut back to Maximus, or do we cut to Hank?
So, let's see. There we go. Yeah, we go to Hank. And he is on a golf cart, just, riding
with his yo-yo.
With his yo-yo, just as he's driving.
And he heads into sub-level 4.
Sub-level 4,
cryo.
Yeah. And comes out, he walks in, he comes out with a little mouse, little white mouse, and he's petting it because it's nice.
Yeah.
And he brings it over to the lab that we saw, that we've seen in the trailers. He puts the little tiny chip on the back of its head, And when he puts it in the thing and it pans out, you see that this is a little... I love that. There's a little office with like a desk and a terminal.
Yeah, like they're on one side, it's the desk, the terminal, a chair. Like, I love how much like office furniture they put on one side. The other side, little plate with a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
Flowers, flowers for Algernon. Yeah, but with a control chip, which is interesting because Flowers for Algernon was a huge reference with Swan in Fallout 4. You know, the Swan and the way he changed and became more and more intelligent, but then, you know, began to mutate. Mm-hmm. And I like that reference here too.
Yeah. But I still do not understand how this thing is supposed to work. Because he's got the dial and he's just turning the dial up.
Yeah,
same question.
It's this is that thing I said I wanted to bring up later, because it's like, what the hell does this thing do even? Because it just, everything that we've seen, it seems to have worked 3 times,
and
everything else, it blows people's heads up. Yeah,
like I wonder why he's turning up strength. Like, we know that they have control for a period of time at a regular level. So why is he so quickly bringing it up? I mean, maybe there's a tolerance factor. Maybe there's something else. You know what I mean? Like, he's almost turning it to full power to see, okay, what can we do to make it so it operates at full power? And maybe the idea is full power is the only time they expect to achieve full control. Maybe. Yeah. But I don't know. It does. I don't understand the experiment either completely.
Yeah. It's something that seems to, it's something that's trying to not necessarily override their brain, but just make them super susceptible to what you want them to do. But yeah, he's just cranking that dial almost as quickly, like not even, he's just like as quickly as possible trying to get this thing to work. And he's like, oh, it didn't work. Yeah. But what were you going to say, Mike?
I was going to say, this also could be like that whole management thing. It's like Hank is the manager covering from another department. He knows like how things are supposed to be done by the book, but like the day-to-day stuff, he's not 100% sure on. So he's just like, yeah, you put this thing on the mouse and you crank the wheel, and it's supposed to work on its little terminal.
Yeah.
Why do their heads keep exploding?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, and they'll probably go into it more, but it's like, this is, if this dial is supposed to make them susceptible, his entire plan that we see is putting the chip on the mouse, turning the dial, and making the mouse get on the computer. But there's no sort of input of him being like, do this, or there's no like, you know, microphone or anything like that. He's just like,
there may be program instructions. There may be something more to it, but and we don't know what he plans to use it for either. I mean, we've seen what he used it for with Nuclear Winter thing in the past. We saw with the Wastelander guy in the vault last time that he knows about the technology and has used it. But what does he want it for now? But he's excited about, you know, how it's been perfected or worked on over time.
Yeah. But we see, you know, explosion, the mouse is gone, and he's like, oh, well, and then he goes and grabs another mouse, comes back, does it again, and we expect that he's done this a few times, at least, 5 or 6 times. But one thing that I want to point out that I thought was hilarious, every time he brings a new mouse in, that whole thing is cleaned out, which means it explodes, and then he's like, oh, man, and then he grabs wipes, and he cleans this thing out and sanitizes it, and then he brings in the next one.
I didn't know if maybe there's some kind of sanitation routine that he can push another button to clean it up, or maybe, like we saw the multiple desks in a row, maybe there are multiple cages, and he went through like all like 5 or 6 that are set out. I don't know.
Yep.
But he also got some on his face that you kind of see that as well. Like some of it got out of it, and it's on his face, and he
but like you can kind of tell like that makes sense because like the top is perforated, and he just kind of like slides it on. It doesn't like sit into place. Oh, also,
I feel so bad for the mice.
Dog number 2,
Ira.
Oh,
that's Ira.
Oh yeah,
he's probably gonna get up on the desk and wander around, but whatever. Anyway,
so. But yeah, Hank is just doing his experiments, just happy that he's back in a vault and he gets to do vault tech work. He's in his element, you know, but
one at a time, T. Why does he not bring multiple mice together? I mean, I guess he wants to spare them the trauma of seeing the previous mouse explode. I don't know. Weird.
I think
hilarious. It makes a better scene.
No, I think this like one at a time thing, I think is like a vault tech, like a comedic effect. And also it's just like, Vault-Tec said before they froze me, one at a time. So it's
one
just
by
like
one.
the dumbest. It's just like, man.
So Hank is doing experiments. We cut to Max over at this new Area 51 base, and we see the Brotherhood walking through and seeing all of this stuff in the base that they've never seen before. We see there's a cryolator. that one of them picks up, and as Max is walking by, he sees people like holding the cryolator, and he's like, give that to the clerics to sort and everything. We're seeing
It's so
other
cool seeing them
weapons
come in and the establishing shot. Did you pick out other things in there? I mean, we saw the Zayton ship, right, under
Yeah, we saw the ship.
Awesome.
Well, we covered, but you're like, I know exactly what the hell that is. There was I guess I didn't see this, but I was reading some stuff. There was one of the the batons that the Zaytons use is shown in there. There's a
little penetrator thing.
Yeah, there's a copy of the U.S. Constitution with a flag on it.
Yeah.
And then there's
Did someone mention, this is something I didn't see either, but the Ark of the Covenant in the background? In one of the shots? I heard someone say, I see the Ark of the Covenant in there?
Now I know what I'm doing. Now I know what I'm doing instead of packing this shit up.
Yeah, when we watch again, we'll double check.
Yeah. The long-awaited Jessica Starr Nerding for Beginners collaboration you've been waiting for. where we pour over this one specific scene to find the art.
Oh, it's so good, though. It's so good to see.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how Max has kind of, you can see that he has gained authority from what happened, like we thought he would when it's all hail Knight Maximus. Like he was essentially promoted officially at the end of last season, but the other knights even deferred to him, because when he's walking through here and the two are playing with the grenade, like while he's walking through in this scene, and he's like, stop
please
that.
Don't play. Please don't play with grenades inside.
Exactly, and they're like, yes, sir. Like the way they say, yes, sir, you can tell, okay, they answer to him,
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Let's see here. We've got the scene dialed up here, if you guys can see it in the Discord.
Yep. I can.
Yeah, no trespassing, Area 51. There's no audio here. I
really like they did this. Notice the classic kind of ranger station tower looking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So this is them opening it up. Max is not here. So this is not... He's not one of these. All right, so...
Here we go. Here's the establishing shot.
Here's the establishing
shot.
We got
ship.
Ship?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's really hard to see. I think we'd have to blow it up and lighten it too. We don't need to do that now, but there's something with tentacles.
Yeah. Listen, once we're done here, I'm going to go take my medicine and then go put this scene up on the big 70-inch TV in the living room and stand very close to it and try to figure this out.
Here we go. The icebox.
My favorite sequence in the whole show, in this episode.
We see
holy shish kebab. The dude is holy shish kebab, and then we're like, oh my god, a Zayton.
It's a Zayton.
That's not what he's excited about.
An icebox.
A real fucking icebox.
Which, holy trauma for Max, right? On some level. But
what do we have here?
Yeah.
Is this like a...
Let me see.
I mean, it looks a little bit like a Ghostbusters pack, or a little bit like a smoke machine, but I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Almost looks like from one of the in I want to say Fallout 3 maybe. There was like a little kind of collage almost of the Pip-Boy being made, and this almost looks like like one of the older versions of the Pip-Boy where it was gigantic.
I love that shot when they're working on it when it's when it's larger at Robco. I'm not sure what that is. There we go.
Yeah. There it is.
I forget what it's actually called, but
Alien
weapons
2000
for sure.
We've got the not the Food-O-Matic, but this is the cake machine from 76.
Oh, it certainly could be. It has that style, yeah.
In my playthrough of 76, because there's no end game, you just keep playing. I beat the game in my mind once I got a piece of cake legitimately. Once I got that, I was like, I'm done. I beat 76.
Are you talking about perfectly preserved pie?
Yes, not cake. Yes, perfectly preserved. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
pie. I never got pie in 4, and I didn't get pie in 76 until almost 4 years in.
Oh,
even though it's a slightly higher chance. But did you know it's a per server chance how long you stay logged in and how many attempts you make? Where the highest it'll go up to is, I believe, 15% after a certain number of attempts. But it's still so if you try to get pie over and over again, your chances do increase up to a point, and then they lock. Whereas in 4, of course, it's much more rare.
Yeah. The only thing I know about the pie is that you can immediately tell if you're going to get it or not. if the claw,
claw
like
moves.
moves over and then goes down, you're going to get it. If it goes straight down, it's always going to fail. But yeah, we've got the
maybe 3 or 4 times at this point. I have not
yeah.
gotten it that much.
I know
Maybe a few
there's also
more,
there's a place in 76 where you're guaranteed to get it. There's one
it's
of those.
roof pie. So on top of the West Tech facility, there's
Yeah.
roof pie on top of the roof. But roof pie doesn't count. It's just not as good. It's
No,
been
no.
exposed to the elements.
No. But yeah, we've got the baton here. All right. Oh, hey,
So-
is that the Ark of the Covenant right there?
That's what
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like.
I see a weird eye on it
Well-
though. Like,
Well, and like you see like the Egyptian statue behind it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like
definitely.
that could be. That could
Yeah.
be.
Apologies to viewers and listeners. I'm moving my mouse around it on screen,
Yeah.
but in
you
the
won't even see that.
you won't see the mouse. But yeah, behind the person in the white, and then here's is this one of the
Han Solo? No.
Frozen in carbonite.
Well, this looks like one of what's like the underwater army of statues.
Oh, the Terracotta Warriors of Xi'an.
Yes. Yeah,
Ooh,
this
very nice,
almost
yeah.
maybe looks like one of them. But yeah, these are just like statues, and then this person is I don't know what the hell they're doing.
It looks like an incense ball of some kind, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's not. But yeah,
Yeah,
But yeah,
that may
the
be what they meant
Adeptus-
by the ark. Yeah, there
Oh,
you
here
go.
we go.
Look at it. Oh my!
There it is.
God.
That's the
Is that
ark.
the ark.
that is the Ark.
Beautiful, beautiful.
They
Ark,
They
we
had
got-
top men on it.
yeah. Top men.
Enclave
men.
flag, the Constitution. I'm sorry, I call it the Enclave flag. Obviously, the U.S. flag.
Whatever.
Since
Yeah.
1969, right? 1969 is when
Yeah.
they turned into 13 Commonwealths
Yeah.
in the from 50 states.
Yeah.
When I saw this, when the scene was playing out,
Ooh,
I just said out loud
Alien
to
blaster.
nobody, "Hell yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah."
You
I just
good.
said
better be
like,
careful with that.
yeah. I mixed the nerd dubs, and I'm like, the Adeptus Mechanicus find an abandoned forge world.
Fucking nerd.
Anybody who
I
knows
do not
40K?
get that reference. I was going to
It's a
say, is
war-
that Warhammer? Okay.
Yep, 40K.
And yeah, that is a cryolator.
Definitely. Dog meat is a good boy. Thank you for finding that.
Dog is a good boy.
And another alien blaster, right?
Where at?
Behind him, maybe? Up on the shelf. What is that hanging? Like, it looks like an oversized alien blaster, kind of. Oh, no,
This?
no, that's the Egyptian thing.
That's a
yeah, that's a
statue.
beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another.
But I also love how immediately these like the Brotherhood is in there, and they are like they've got forms, and they're just
Oh, yeah.
documenting everything. Most of
Right.
them, except
Well,
for the knights.
Putting
who
the
are-
scribes to work,
Yeah,
or clerics,
exactly.
as they call them in this chapter. Yeah.
Bureaucracy, baby.
and these two.
The comic relief Brotherhood Knights. I mean, I'm guessing it's partly because of some people being promoted quickly because of things going wrong. But these two
100%,
knights being goofballs, like here and then in a little bit.
Oh
is,
God.
I think they realized they needed to give some life to the Brotherhood, maybe.
Yeah.
Because what we saw
Well-
last time was so, bleak.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about how it's not our Brotherhood. And it's not. Obviously, this is not the Brotherhood we're used to in this chapter. But, at least it humanized them a little bit. But once again, why would these guys be knights?
Yeah, this is. I got a theory about this. We'll get to later.
But this is as anybody who's followed our podcast for a while. This is my favorite thing in the entire show. Let's see what this thing can do. Come on, shitheads.
I fucking saw this and I'm like, oh man, that thing was cherry. Oh no.
So mad. And I thought, are they testing this bulletproof? But no, that's
No.
what you do with cars in the Wasteland. You blow them up. They're
That's
they're
what-
they're such 76ers. Like,
That
come
is my
on.
Yeah.
favorite thing to do in 76 as I'm running by. And anytime I'm playing with people who aren't in power armor, I forget that they are very fragile. And I just start blowing up cars around people.
Yep.
If you use explosive weapons, you got to perk up for it. You know what I mean? You got to be ready for this. I mean, any stop by the Galleria, first thing to do is blow up the parking lot. It's too much fun.
My God, that thing is a gold mine for me. But we
Or
see,
around
like,
the White Spring back in the day, all those cars.
Yeah. Ooh, oh my! Remember when you could actually do that at the White Spring, and now fucking
Oh
respond.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Love
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then we see that they've acquired, and by acquired I mean they stole it when they left, the cold fusion from Griffith Observatory.
Yeah.
Yep. They have possession.
And then we see Dane. Yeah.
What do you think I'll do with it? Nothing good.
And that's where you realize that, because Dane and Maximus were very much a team, kind of, not against Brotherhood. They were both very much part of it, but they also had a more realistic view. They weren't all bought in. They had a little bit more awareness of what was going on. And you can see right here that Dane has definitely lost faith in the direction things are going.
Dane has lost faith, and Max is on one end buying in, but you can also sense that something is wrong for him as well.
Right, he's feeling he has to in order to mold it. And I mean, I guess we can talk about that more in a minute. But yeah, that's
this. We're not on. This isn't on screen anymore. But yeah, we cut to Max cleaning himself, and one of the scribes, is asking like, "Why do you do that? Why are you cleaning yourself?" Because other people aren't doing that. And Max is kind of thinking back to his childhood, and he's like, in order to fix a big problem, you can break it down into things that you can do, like being vigilant, being loyal, and not smelling like shit.
These are good things. It's just a little thing sometimes.
Because it's something that was ingrained in him when he was a child, and the scribe that is here is a lot younger, so has probably just been born in this wasteland, whereas Max has that shred of knowing what the world could be because he was in it.
And plenty of Wastelanders do too. That's the thing that I even though they don't show it as much, there are people in the Brotherhood who probably feel that way. Maybe not this chapter as much with the way they're raised, a little more isolationist, but you do really get more of Max's character here. That he's still the same guy we saw before. He wants to make the world better, and he now thinks the Brotherhood is the way to do that. With what he has available to him, but maybe he's hoping to guide them, change the direction.
He's hoping that he's trying to buy into what Quintus is telling him. We're like, hey, I'll be the head, you'll be the sword. And he's like, that I can be in charge of this, and I can fix this from within almost. Or I can use the good things that we have here and try to get rid of the bad things and just make this a force for good. But then we see him start to, polish his armor. And that made me think of one thing. How have we not gotten in the atomic shop in 76 Max's power armor? With like the claw marks everywhere. How has that not been a thing in there?
Wow, because they've used it elsewhere, but it's not a skin, is it? Was it in the BOS kit? You know how with each major update there's an edition you can actually buy with a few things?
I don't think so, but because I think that came out before season 1 even. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was like the Steel Dawn, Steel Rain.
Steel Dawn, Steel Rain package.
But no, like that seems like a super easy. Hey, here's Max's armor, and it's just power armor with claw marks all over it.
Right, battle damage He-Man armor.
Yeah, exactly, and it would be great. But he's starting to polish it. Dane comes up and is like, what? It's just gonna get dirty again, and he's like, it better to polish, better to like clean, better to polish dirty steel than for it to remain clean.
Than not to use it.
They're not. Yeah. And Dane is like, we used to quote the book as a joke to each other.
Yeah, we used to quote the codex at each other as a joke.
And this Max responds with the I've been out there, the world is terrible. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, you were out there with
kind of
Michael Rappaport for 20 minutes.
Which I mean, that will definitely color your view of the world. Hanging out with Michael Rappaport.
That's fair. Yeah.
And it's only a recent thing, because he was out there before when he was younger too.
Yeah, he's like, I was out there.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this.
It's like,
but at what point did Max even join the Brotherhood? Like, has he been with the Brotherhood since he was since he was a kid? Shady Sands? I don't know.
Well, well, in the first season when he comes out, we see that it's the Brotherhood that comes over. And he sees the power armor, and that's when he aspires to it. Yeah.
But I feel like there are a number of times as an initiate in the first season, you're like, he's only been with them for a couple of years, even though it should have been 10 at this point, if he was there the entire time since then.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's I wonder when it's going to, tell them. But yeah, I thought his like, I've been out there. I've seen what it's like. And I was like, yeah, for a day and a half, dude.
Right. And you met a girl, which Dane brings up, that it wasn't all bad. You've seen
Dane is like, you met that girl. And he's like, yeah, but I saw a ghoul and he was weird looking. Like,
I thought it was a ghoul and he was mean to me.
Yeah.
But out of the options he's seen, he feels currently that the Brotherhood still is the best option.
Yeah, which is what he says. He's
mostly reinforced.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen out there, and the Brotherhood is the best. Essentially, like, this is the best shot that we have at making the world again.
And if we can use the Brotherhood to stop the history from repeating itself,
and if we can fix what we're doing here,
right. Which, I mean, that is part of the Brotherhood's codex, to preserve technology and keep people from using it in such an awful way again. Except that some individual chapters seem to have some delusions of, grandeur and what they should be using it for. And
yeah. And as they're talking, we hear the alarms go off. It cuts out to multiple airships coming in,
and a guy taking a shit in the tower.
Yeah, I don't know if he was taking a shit or if he was reading an adult magazine.
Well, I mean, if he was, that was very interesting. But he was sitting on something and had to pull his pants and underwear up.
He's getting comfortable.
Whatever he was doing up there.
Okay. One of those moments. But we knew the Brotherhood were coming in for a meeting. The other chapters were coming in, like they had said. But the Commonwealth wasn't told, which also Dane brings up as well. And they'll deal with that.
He's not telling the Commonwealth, and they're not going to let him get they're not going to be happy. Essentially. So it's the stuff with the Brotherhood in this season so far, just in this episode, especially, and the stuff with we see later, Caesar's Legion, and we see like some other things from the games, like more specifically and more specifically from the games. It definitely makes it feel like, okay, they know what they're doing now. They know that they've got something. They know that people are into the show because season 1 did so well. But season 1 even almost still felt like they were, hey, we're telling a story in the Fallout universe, but it has nothing to do, we're going to try to just tell our own story in the universe to make sure that people are bought in.
Right.
And now that people are bought in, they're like
connected, but
now that people are bought in, they're like,
going to be setting more than people.
Yeah, it's like now we can talk about the Commonwealth. We could talk about specifically, Shady Sands. We could see that more as opposed to it just being we blew it up. We can talk about the Commonwealth. We can talk about this and this.
Which is interesting. I mean, in first season there was one reference from the Commonwealth that the message sent all the way over from the Commonwealth, and they had a couple people show up, but not the entire thing. One thing I really like here, and we're about to get into the meeting with the different people from the chapters coming in. We have we've got the Grand Canyon chapter, the Yosemite chapter, the Coronado chapter, of course, this group. And it shows how the chapters have evolved separately, which is why this Brotherhood is different. And that, thank God, because, we talked about that for a while, that we've only seen East Coast up until the show for the last, good number of years, outside of the Lost Hills chapter in New Vegas. And they all kind of, especially the last 20, 30 years since fighting with the NCR and losing and kind of splitting up and running away, they've evolved separately. And so it makes sense that, some of them have gone one way, some of them others. Like in this meeting, and I see you're pulling up the meeting now, it's mentioned that they are different. One of them, he says, we never had any of this religious stuff, talking about how we've got clerics in this order, that they're leading heavily into the religion thing, which, you saw a little bit more of in the first game, but it was never quite as heavy as it is here.
Yeah.
And so each chapter is different. And the Commonwealth may be the largest and the most dominant, and Arthur Maxon unified them a bit, but there's a lot of distance across the U.S. from where they're based.
Yeah, which we'll get to that in a bit, the distance and everything. But yeah, I'm glad that this actually paused on this. This is definitely a, let me pull it up on screen here. This is a license plate, right?
Yep. That's a license plate. That is an Arizona license plate.
Okay.
It does.
In his head. It says Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
And it looks like bigger things. Yeah, so he's got a license plate in his head, probably used for some sort of fix.
Yeah. For patch up a hole in his head.
Yeah.
Quite literally, we can't fix your skull with anything except this thing we found on an old Corvega.
Yeah. But yeah, as you said, the different chapters have their different kind of ideologies. One is like, we don't buy into this like religious shit. And then the other one's like, yeah, we're in ours, women can't talk. It's like, all right, well, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. I mean, are you an offshoot of the Legion? Like, where was this?
And then this guy is pretty much just like, yeah, and everybody else can go fuck themselves. We're just living.
Well, he's like, the Commonwealth doesn't really, they let us do whatever, so everybody else can kind of fuck off.
They let us do whatever.
Leave us alone.
You just like it because they let you fuck robots. That was one scribe, and he was well within his rights.
Yeah.
They're still reference.
Which is like, what?
It's like, oh,
dog,
okay, whatever.
Hold on.
But yeah, we see this come back to us. We see this whole thing. Quintus is essentially trying to make his hey, we need to band together against the Commonwealth and be our own thing here. And all three of them are like, you're an idiot. No, they're the most powerful. They're like, we listen to them for a reason.
Right, because it's not that I don't feel here he's saying that we're going to band against the Commonwealth. But the Commonwealth will object to us coming together without their input.
Yes.
In other words, they're strengthening themselves in their chapters, and Quintus kind of wants to be the head here. So it will most likely lead to civil war, depending upon how things are happening. But they also, I mean, I almost feel like they want to negotiate dominance from a position of strength. So if it comes to war, it comes to war. But, you know, Elder Quintus will also absorb them if they let him become dominant.
Yeah, I didn't get the thought that he was like, we need to take down the Commonwealth chapter. No. But yeah, more of just like this guy says, you know, representation without taxation. It's anti-American, you know. It's like, let's come together, the people here that are close enough to actually affect each other.
Yeah, because these chapters are relatively close, right? Grand Canyon, Yosemite. I don't know where Coronado is.
Is Coronado in
California?
Is it California too? Okay, so it's California, Arizona, Nevada, basically.
Yeah, it's basically like the western, you know, portion of everything. And they're all like essentially just like, no, you're crazy, until Quintus pulls out, has you know, the clerics bring out just crates of new fusion cores.
Yeah, right? I mean, you know, it's like they took over a workshop and have been running that fusion core recharger overtime.
Yeah. And then the one from which it wasn't it wasn't Coronado, it was the other
Ladies Yosemite.
Yeah, Yosemite is like, how many of these can you make? And he's like, more than everyone in the history of human civilization could ever need.
Yep.
Because he's got the cold fusion, he's got the power to do this.
Yeah.
And then you hear her be like, yeah, the Codex says to never take up arms against your fellow brothers, but the Codex could be up for interpretation.
Yeah. And again, I don't love that, because I don't know that there's a declaration of war. I mean, maybe unstated. It almost is, essentially. Oh, here's an interesting thing. When Max first mentions it to Dane, you know, when they're talking about it briefly right before the meeting, you know, Dane says that violates the chain of command. Now, we know from Brotherhood lore, this actually, the chain that binds is what it's called. The chain that binds is the Brotherhood definition of how they go through the pecking order. And actually, in New Vegas, if you want to overthrow the Elder in New Vegas, you can show that he has violated the chain that binds to let, is it McNamara, you know, let them take over. And so this is actually a pretty major violation here, according to, you know, previous Brotherhood precedent. But you also get the feeling that the Brotherhood and almost all these chapters are a little bit more hooliganish and a little bit less military than we've ever seen them before, which, again, I don't love. I prefer the military regimentation, but, you know, they're kind of saying they have changed a bit separately.
Yeah, it's the whole, like, the disparate evolution. Like, if you took the same animal and put it in 4 different things, it would be the same but drastically different. That's kind of what this feels like.
They've reinforced it a bit, you know, in the Capital Wasteland and the Commonwealth, the East Coast. Brotherhood has continued that tradition better from what we've seen. And here, it felt like Max's chapter had a bit until they started bringing in other elements. You saw the wider group.
Yeah, and it seems like when he was like banging his cane on the table to get everybody to shut up and listen to him, he does bring up a point that really lands. He's like, what would we do if the Commonwealth were here? They would take the relic and leave us with nothing. They would strengthen themselves at our expense. So and that just kind of was like, hey, idiots.
They do feel short end of the stick, even though they can communicate. Yeah,
it's just like they are going to take this great thing from us, and we were the ones who put in the legwork to find this damn thing. Yeah. Why should they get it?
Yeah, why should we be giving it to them? Once again, taxation without representation. You know,
un-American.
From here, you know, we get kind of updates to the other stories throughout everything. We can almost rapid fire through these.
We can definitely.
We go back to Hank in the vault. He ends up going to. He's got an idea. He goes to the like ultra premium,
the premium
elite plus,
elite plus premium,
the premium elite plus.
Yeah.
is I think what it was. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
many
just-
superlatives can we add to one thing? And he
Yeah.
pulls out a dude.
And it's
Marketing.
Perfect. Yeah, he pulls
That's
out
what
a
it
dude.
is.
He named Steve. And we cut to like Steve kind of
Steve.
waking up, and he's drowsy, he's confused, he has a pain, he reaches back, and the camera, we immediately see that he's got a chip in him, and
Oh, good.
Right.
yeah,
That he's asking all these questions. And he also mentions Reclamation Day, that he wasn't supposed to be waking up until they were
Yeah.
once again ready to emerge.
Yeah.
he's like, oh, is it Reclamation Day? And he's like, yes, but not in the way that we thought it was, or not in the way that we thought it would be. And he's pouring, he's drinking champagne.
Yeah.
He's like,
I just love what Hank says. He's just like, well, you know what they say, drink champagne.
yeah,
It's just like,
that's okay.
it's like, okay, sure.
So he's got the thing in the back of his head, and it's immediately obvious that Hank is now like, yeah, the mice aren't going to work. I need other subjects. So now he's got a pool of other subjects, and he even
And
says
I
it. He's
was
like, yeah, the mice are
surprised.
just so small. They
I was
can't.
surprised he grabbed a guy, but then he goes into kind of explaining, how he chose this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
he's drowsy and everything, and Hank is essentially, he grabs his hands and puts them in a thing so he can't move, and then he's like, you had a family, right? But you only paid for one seat. And he's like, oh yeah, it was expensive. And he also says he's like I signed up for the Premium Elite Plus, and he's like, yeah, but didn't you read the fine print? And he's like, yeah. Like,
Well, I didn't.
I prefer the classics. It's like it's trying to get him into. Did you read your fine print? No. Well, we said we could do this, but he's like, yeah, I did. He's like, well, whatever. But he comes back and he's like, you had a family, you only paid for one thing, and he's like, yeah, it was expensive, and he says, yeah, you can't put a price on family. And
made that
family
very
is
clear in the
building block
advertising.
of civilization. That's our whole advertising.
Yeah, I love that he
Beautiful.
said we made that very clear in the advertising.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, no.
Hank is a true believer.
Yeah.
Oh, Hank.
Hank is the true believer of all tech. And then once again, he's got the machine, and he says, the mice are so small, and he's trying to get this thing to work. But then once again, he just like cranks up this dial until
Homeboy.
I was
Tell
surprised he
Steve.
needed more commands and stuff again. Yeah, like once again, you would think it would be testing the suggestibility. We'd go slow. We'd see if they adapt. We'd see if they, it would be actual testing.
Yeah.
But the show can only show so much, and either Hank doesn't know how it works, or he does know how it works better than we do, and knows that you only get full control at a certain power level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's once again going back to like what is he trying to accomplish with this? Not just to get it to work, but like does he already have something in mind, and like things are maybe on that machine you can kind of dial things in ahead of time. I don't know. Hank is killing the guy. We don't really know
Hank's
what's going
blowing
on.
up Steve's head.
Yeah, blowing up Steve's head. And we've seen it a couple times, but we go back to Lucy, who at one point we see her walking with this woman who is like, you're a very kind profligate.
Yeah, you're a kind profligate.
Yeah.
Right,
And she's
right.
like,
She
oh,
said
you
something
speak
in Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a teacher,
Education's very important
It's
to
very
me.
important to me. And the woman says something that I don't want to repeat, but is terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah. It's,
You should
know, I
go.
don't want you to get hurt by the
don't-
wrong people. Because she says, we're on our way to Las Vegas. She says, you shouldn't go there. You should go home. I don't want you to get hurt by the wrong people, as if there's a right person to do that, which is weird.
Well,
But-
with her upbringing, perhaps there is.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine.
And as they're walking and everything, and as they're talking, Lucy spots people up on a ridge.
up on the hill.
Up on the hill, holding torches. And she's like, oh, that's odd.
Odd.
Yeah.
And of course, the girl has gone on into the village now. I mean, Lucy should have said, "Okay, I've taken you as far as I can."
Yeah.
Turned around, and how
Looks
during
like-
this walk, how they didn't have a walk about her village or where she's from or anything. I mean, obviously the girl's just been through trauma. She's not talking much. Lucy is walking with her. We've got to assume it's been at least a couple hours, but for all we know, it's been a day or two. But at
Yeah.
least a couple hours. You would have thought she would have asked about the village or caught on to the fact that the ghoul was worried about their outfits and stuff. Like, there is part of us going like, come on, Lucy, context clues.
Yeah.
But
Figure it out, honey. But there she was, just
Lucy is so hell-bent on proving that people are good.
she is the most lawful good goddamn character, and it angers me so much.
Right. At least, neutral good is the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate some of society's and culture's laws and norms. Like that is important.
Yeah.
But Lucy does she is relying on them too much in these situations. And I think she's realizing that she has to be flexible. But yeah, but no, she just wants to meet the cult. You know, that's why she's going this way.
I mean, it makes sense.
Who doesn't? You know?
We all do. But yeah, we've seen that before, and then the last time we see Lucy, she is walking up with this woman, and the camera pans over. We see the Caesar's Legion banner on a door, and then we see them start to come out and surround Lucy, holding weapons and torches. And she's like, "I know that we all have cultural differences, but I'm good.
I want you to know that I'm nice."
Yeah.
And it's just like,
so
not much of a defense necessarily. I mean, in many places it would be, but again, what Lucy's seen of the Wasteland, like, she's met some good people along the way for sure, and some neutral or decent people, or at least who, you know, aren't on the attack. But she's met a lot of bad too, and it's not that I think she's too trusting, because that's my, you know, default setting too. I get it. I get why she is how she is, but she really should be a little bit more skeptical at this point.
Oh yeah, at this point it's like, you have been out there long enough to know, like, maybe something should have, like, let you, maybe you shouldn't have gone all the way to her village. Maybe you should have just gotten her to a point. It's like, all right, girl, bye.
You good
And
now?
maybe
Right,
she
bye.
trusted that the girl would have told her if there was something for her to worry about. But, you know, once again, this girl's been raised in a different culture, so might not think of it that way.
Yep.
So yeah, we see her fall into the trap, or not even necessarily the trap. Just she
Well, yeah.
gets
Right.
the season.
Well,
We don't know
what's
what's
gonna
going to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of, like, the Legion does a really good thing of just being like, they will let you walk into, like, their maw. Like, if they have something, like, if they want to capture you or kill you, they'll just be like, yeah, you're going to be dumb enough to walk right into us. So
Welcome
why are
to
we going
Cottonwood Cove. Yep.
I'll wait to Kaisar. Let me go ahead and get that bag off you.
There was the poster that came out before the season started, where Lucy is in the middle of all the Legion people, and just on the poster, she doesn't seem like she's scared. She's like looking around, like she's like, oh yeah, these people,
Curious or bewildered. Yeah.
So like, I'm wondering if we are going to get that, you know, like Caesar's Legion is very, you know, they're fanatical, they can be very violent, but she brought one of their people back and made sure this person was safe.
Yeah.
And it's been 16 years since New Vegas. Again, even though they have the set values that may have changed, perhaps women have a few more rights. I mean, we know if you were a female courier, despite the fact that you were put down the entire time walking in, they allowed you, you know, to visit, to talk to Kaisar, to, you know, be a good one of them.
So,
like,
yeah, I think maybe people just watching the show might think, oh, she's being surrounded, she's screwed. But people who have, like, you know, played the games are like, the Caesar's Legion is, you know, fanatical, but they do have a code that, at least in the game, they followed. And according to that code, you could assume they're not just there to, like, they're not just to grab her and kill her just because she's there. She helped
or they
one
might
of them.
slap a slave collar on her, right?
That might be the case. Yeah, but they're like, yeah, you helped one of our own. Like, at the very least, we might just be like, all right, leave and forget about us.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Or
every
they might
faction has different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just because there is a standard faction thing doesn't mean they all act the same, as we see over and over again.
But we will see. So we've
and I
go ahead.
One last thing before we leave this. Whoever is leading the Legion, at least Kaisar in New Vegas, he was smart enough to recognize when there was somebody useful to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he was not just going to be like, yep, and nail this heretic to a cross.
Yeah, he was a follower.
Like,
you know, he was intelligent.
He read all about it. So he's like, oh yeah, no, if I need like this person who just breezed through my door, I could use him for something. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that, and then nail him to a cross or whatever. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so
we leave her in the hands of the Legion. Hank has just killed Steve. R.I.P.
Capable hands of the Legion.
Yeah, in the capable hands of the Legion. R.I.P. in peace, Steve. Norm, back in Vault 31.
Fucking A, Norm. Manager Norm.
Has figured out, after, I'm assuming, spending time with Bud and, you know, hearing all about Bud's plan of making these managers, has figured out the way
he was raised.
Yeah, like,
and the way he was raised.
And I just love that, like, Norm is smart enough to, like, pick up on, like, oh shit, these people are, like, looking for leadership.
Yeah.
I just put Bud in a fucking bucket.
Yeah.
I can work with it.
But they're like, who are you? And he's like, I am the product of 200 years of making a super manager.
Of genetic engineering. I am a super...
Great line. I mean, if he actually said he was Norm MacLean, like, he might get some, credit for that name alone, because Hank was probably higher ranking than most of these other junior executives. There's a reason why Betty and he were thought first.
Yeah.
But he figures out the way to get them to think of this as not survival, but, this is Bud's last test. And if I can get you guys out of here, we've essentially proven him. And Bud was never wrong.
Nope. It was... I love how...
Claudia, who said maybe sometimes, but... or looked...
Yeah, something, yeah.
I'm sure
somebody said something.
Yeah.
Claudia? But I love how he framed this whole thing as just like, this is Bud's last test for us.
This was something that was supposed to happen. This is happening exactly how it's supposed to. This is our test. And the one guy's like, I did a thing with the company on ventilation, so I did call dibs on ventilation. And he even picks up the thing of like the first aid kit, and he's like, everybody who does something to help gets this merit badge, and it's just a
like these merit dots.
These merit dots. And they're like, merit dot. Oh, okay.
God.
He understands the system, even if he didn't grow up with it. I mean, he did. He grew up with it, but in a different setting.
Yeah. And
so
like
he's
that,
ready.
like when he said the merit dots, there's an episode of Metalocalypse where they get like a life coach, and every time they do good, he gives them a banana sticker. And then he slowly starts like morphing the band into what it is he wants them to be.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, wait, we could just buy banana stickers.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, I love that he did this, and I don't think these people are ever going to realize, like, these are just meaningless dots.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
because
in
their mind, in their world, these merit dots are going to be the thing that gets them the promotion.
It's about structure and the corporate ladder, and
it is.
But also,
it is a carrot to chase.
As all the Vault-Tec propaganda from the beginning, it's very much about teamwork, and we're all in this together in that too. Like, even though there are, obviously we know at certain higher levels, they don't actually think that way. It's very much part of the programming and the training and the way they're written.
Yeah.
And so, this is where you see that they all do have specialties, that they have knowledge, that they have skills. Even though they're kind of management, they're not incompetent in certain areas.
No, like they're specialty characters. It's like, you're not going to run this by itself, but if you put them in a party, look out, world.
Interesting. Claudia had a name and Adam had a name, but I don't know if we got names for the others. Like, so I don't, we'll see how much they...
I don't,
I don't remember.
They don't come up. I remember Claudia because the one guy's like, Claudia, plans have changed, Claudia. Come on. But and then even Claudia is like, we can maybe get water from the fire suppression system. Like she.
Yeah, I work on the fire suppression.
Once he frames this as a test, they're they're locked into like, now I get it. We need to do this, and maybe this is what he wanted us to do all along.
Just all of them just like going from like, oh shit, we have to figure out how to escape and survive to, Bud wants us to do this? Well, okay then.
We get to figure out how to escape.
Yeah, just that
turned it almost into a game, but
Norm realizing that he's just like, if I shift this from like, we have to do this to survive to, this is what the higher ups at Vault-Tec want you to do. This is a test. This was designed.
Executives.
Yeah, like as soon as he's just like,
plan.
He's just like, you goes from your life is on the line to your career is on the line. Suddenly, it's like, just insane.
But they get started. And then, we see, I think it then cut to the Brotherhood. But as we go back to him, somebody has found a ladder. And
the most inconveniently placed ladder.
Yeah, the conveniently placed ladder. And then when they grab the thing to open
the door
it, unlock it, pull it, and just hits her in the face because you hear it. Which
she holds on. Thank goodness. But
she's like, I found a ladder.
Vault-Tec.
Yeah.
It's also well done. The design.
Yeah. But did you also notice the guy who was up there on the platform, he keeps trying to like grab her legs, but she keeps like spinning around is like, I found a ladder.
Yeah.
He's just like, let me hold on to you real quick.
But then, Adam, I think is it Adam? Was that the one who's like, shut up, Claudia? Was that his name?
I don't know.
I
can't
believe
remember.
so. I believe so. They called somebody at him.
But yeah, they find this ladder and everything, and the way that they get up there is literally by making a human ladder of people climbing on top. And he's like, "Go ahead, boss. You should be like, you need to be the first.
Lead the way, boss." He says, "Lead."
What a moment!
Yeah.
Right? What
Lead
a moment!
the way,
You
boss.
see Norm's legs shaking a little bit. Like when it first was said, you can see his knees actually, literally, physically quake. Like really good acting there. Like you sense that, and then you also sense the resolve. Like he knows what he needs to do. And this is the same man. This is the same man who, at the beginning of the series, when Lucy was leaving, he can't go with her. He's like, I can't. I'm too much of a coward. But now everything he's been through, the fire he's been through, the finding the purpose, he's like, no, and he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And I really like that character growth and the way that you see it in his acting.
Yeah. As he gets up to where the ladder actually is to get out, climbing the human ladder, and you, once again, even when he's up there, you can see that he's terrified, but he's like, this is what this is what I have to do. And whether or not it's because he's trying to survive to just get out of there, or if his plan now involves these people to do something, but he's like, I need to go up there, I need to be up here, and if I do this, they'll follow me, and we'll get out, at the very least. They climb up, and then we see them getting out through a vent up on the surface. Yeah. Everything is destroyed, and these pre-war people are just like, everything is so dirty, and they go up a hill, and Adam's like, aw, the mall's gone.
Right. And Norm's never been outside, so to him, he's just like, it's beautiful. This is his first time seeing. But I like the fact that, like, positionally, it makes perfect sense too. When they climb the rise, they're slightly north of the pier, whereas we know the Vault 33 and entrance when Lucy exited is just slightly south of the pier. So it's all you know within a nice little triangle area, maybe a square mile or two that the vaults cover.
He sees it. He feels actual wind on his face. He feels the actual sun. And he's just like, it's beautiful, because he has never seen anything but the inside of a vault.
Yeah. He is seeing the world for the first time. And even though everybody's just like, oh, this is ugly, it's dirty, the mall is gone. To which, what mall are you talking about? Because I don't know LA particularly well, but I do know there's not a mall right there.
It's definitely the comic relief for a lot of this. Like,
the mall is
like, homie, come on. The mall. It's like, yeah, dude, I miss the Galleria too, but also. But no, just Norm being able to come out and just like see this like ugly place full of debris, detritus, like the cast-offs of a civilization before that was sacrificed for corporate gains. He can still be like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because this is real.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that.
So we leave. So Lucy is in the capable hands of the Legion. Norm and the rest of the Vaulties from 31 are now
Norm and the Office Drones.
Yeah, Norm and the Office Drones are now on the surface. They have made it out of the vault.
They've made it to Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, Hank is blowing people's heads up.
Cooper,
and we're back with
we're
back
Cooper's
with Max.
writhing in pain at the hospital.
Yeah. We are back with Max and the Brotherhood, who have... What's up?
Oh, this I feel is going to be a very crucial moment in this season and maybe the series.
Yeah. So we're back with Max and the Brotherhood. They have decided, hey, we're going to team up, let's drink to it. And cuts back to them. The heads of everybody are up on the stage watching over two people in power armor just beating the fuck out of each other.
Fighting once again like we do in 76, which, by the way, shout out, it looks like a rock'em sock'em cat fight like we do at El Gato Pub, one of the channels I work on. We host regular cat fights, and we do rock'em sock'em power armor a couple times a year. And it was
amazing.
Yeah. But as you see Max watching this, and you can almost see the gears turning in his head, being like, this isn't
this is not what I signed up for.
This is not what we should
be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And like this whole thing, like this Brotherhood is not who we want them to be. Like I said, they've lost some of the military thing. And then, when one of them gets punched out, it just seems like unnecessary violence.
Yeah, this feels like something, because like they talk about like savages and abominations, like the people and the things living in the wasteland. This feels like something that if they came across like a group of, like a community just beating the crap out of each other and cheering it on, they'd be like, "Oh, these savages,
Yeah.
they do
Right,
not deserve."
that's-
Yeah,
That said, the initial setup here, like tests of strength, like wrestling matches or whatever. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing that happens. Like I said, we do it for fun in the Wasteland too. Like
Oh, yeah.
that part with when you're not
Totally.
doing it to the death or something is understandable. It's a little bit unnecessary, but
Yeah,
it's
but-
fun and it makes sense. They've got to work off steam and all that. So you can
Yeah.
understand that if they're bringing these multiple chapters together, that a couple of their champions want to challenge each other. Like, are your guys tougher than ours for this? Blah blah blah.
yeah.
But then
It's like inter-unit, like intramural sports, like in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, or whatever. It's just like, yeah, you don't usually see like these guys from, like Ranger Company all the time, but they got a basketball team. We got a basketball team. They're going to be here for maneuvers. So like,
So in
let's
that
see what we
spirit,
got.
it's good.
Yeah.
But then they
Yeah.
seem to be like they're
But
taking it
this-
a little bit too far, and you get in that.
yeah,
feeling.
this just seems like a drunken frat boy fight.
Oh, 100%.
Just like the president and like the other heads of the frat are up there and they're, aha, pledges, go give yourself a severe concussion.
Yeah.
Good luck remembering
And, like, they're
your
fighting,
teens.
and then it's also the crowd around them that is like
Yeah.
bloodthirsty. Like
Yeah.
they're waiting for one of these dudes to die. They're waiting to see somebody die. And
they want a severe injury or blood.
then- yeah. And Max is like really quickly just be like, okay, yeah, I don't need to. And as he's trying to leave, one of the dudes from one of the other chapters is there, and he's like,
Well,
"Are you the guy who
wasn't this-
killed the NCR bitch, Moldover?" And he's like, "Yeah, Moldover, that was me."
Wait, was this right after he stopped those two dudes again playing with a grenade
Yes.
inside?
Shortly after,
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, God, I think that was all. Like, he just like looks over, and you could just, it cuts to those idiots playing with the grenade, and it cuts back to him, and he's just like,
he's
like
Right,
a parent,
some of them are
hold
kids.
them. Yeah,
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 like a
which
parent
is-
who has to like go over and like break up the two kids fighting again.
Which respect to Max for adopting that role so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like where Quintus is leading the Brotherhood and some of what he's going to be doing with it. Kudos for Max for the character growth. I mean, he's
Yeah.
also in this episode. Like some people criticized Max in first season a bit for being a little bit too quiet at times, for having values but being hesitant to speak. You know what I mean? Like, and he's kind of used to being an underling, but you can see him as the season goes on, coming out of his shell more, speaking his mind more, and now he's really grown into that role pretty quickly.
Yeah.
and yeah, he sees that happening as they're talking, and he moves over. But still, and the thing that I liked about that scene, him stopping them again, is that he knows that there's also the rank and file of this whole ceremony. So instead of just walking over, he's like, he moves, looks to the person next to him, and he's like, "Switch with me because we are in a line."
And he like stepped behind the line, moved down, and then filled in the open spot, which is how you're supposed
Very
to do it.
subtle.
You're not supposed yeah. Well, like, even like, I believe this is like a lot of the security guys at the hospital I work at are former military. So we talk about stuff like this because I'm like, yeah, the whole pomp and circumstance is really weird for a bunch of like high school kids.
Yeah.
Trying to get a college education in a Dodge Challenger at 30% interest for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think one of them said like, yeah, like when you have to like move in like this like formation, you step back and move over because you don't want to step in front of, because that's going to draw too much attention.
Yeah.
So
And
like
then-
that was a subtle little thing that I liked.
And he grabs it from them and turns it off, and they're just like, sorry, Dad, But back to the fight, and this
Oh,
giant
God.
dude is like, "You're the guy who killed Moldover." He's like, "Moldover, yeah," and he's like, "I bet I could mash you." And Max is just like, "Yeah, you probably could."
Yeah,
Because, dude,
Right,
you're
just
a
fucking
foot
real.
and a half taller than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably
It's
beat
just-
my ass.
It's just like Triple H if he didn't get on roids, it was 6 inches taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that,
It
Jess?
was
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. He went to grab his armor, and he was right. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that he's realistic there. He's like, yeah, you probably could, but again, this is not how the Brotherhood should function. But this guy wants to. He's coming in. He's like, oh, this is the big dog here. I'm going to pick a fight with him and show that my chapter that I'm superior. And then obviously, as the fight goes on, it's even more
Oh,
serious
God.
than you realize. But that kind of behavior is where I'm saying it definitely is not the way the Brotherhood would normally do it.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh.
you see the disappointment in Max as this guy's like, "I could
Right.
mash you," and he's like, "Hey, you probably could," and he's like, "No, blah blah blah," and
And he's like, well, let me
He,
go
like,
get
steps
my
in his way.
Let me go get. He's like, well, okay, let me go get my armor. And then the guy, giant man, says, no, raw dog.
dealing
just
with bullies.
in
And
between
Max
that, like,
looks to Quintus too.
yeah, he
Max
looks at
is
Quintus when the
planted
guy's like, I could mash you, and then he won't let him leave. He looks at Quintus, and Quintus is like,
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay.
fight
He's
this
do
guy.
in this situation.
He's like, all right, let me go get my
if
armor. And he's like,
challenging you.
no, raw
Yeah.
dog it. And then he looks back at Quintus, who's pretty much in his eyes is like, you got to do this.
He's like,
And
you
let's
are
be
doing.
real. Quintus is willing to sacrifice Mac.
Yeah.
Despite
Quintus-
the way he's grooming him and talking, Quintus is still, he just sees him as you are the steel and I've got more of it. But
Mhm.
this is the one he's forging now, and this is a chance
Mhm.
to temper that steel and test it further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I
he's
don't like it at all.
Oh,
but
I hate it. Yeah,
No,
this is like I said. I feel this is going to be a pivotal moment in this season, and maybe the series going forward, kind of depending on how the rest of this season plays out.
Right. So they're fighting, and the giant dude
This-
is dominant. Of course, he doesn't even let him. He doesn't even let him take his shirt and
he's
his
like, I
jacket
can
off.
beat,
No,
I can
he
beat you
sucker
up, but he
punched him.
doesn't even let him take his jacket. He hits him when his hands are behind his back. He's
Yeah,
like
he's
kicking
taking
him when he's down. He's like, this is not, it's not an honorable fight.
No,
Not in the
but
slightest.
yeah, but then Max, as he's like down, just does. People will talk about like fighting fair and like whatever. It's just like, well, here's the thing. When somebody teaches you to really fight, like it's you or this other person, one of you is walking away from this.
He's Max, and he knows how to
Yeah.
survive. And we know
Yeah, exactly.
Max is where he is for
Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah.
We saw it early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he just like it's
Get a nut
near
shot.
him. Yeah, yeah, right in the nuts. Throws his jacket at him, hits him again, just to give himself enough space
Yeah.
to like try and recover and come up with a plan, something
Yeah.
to get him out of this fight.
Yeah.
And then Giant Gonzalez pulls out a knife from his boot. Once
He's
again,
really not interested in fighting fair at all.
No.
what was your intention of this fight? Was it to show
was
your
going-
thing or just to kill?
Yeah,
I think he just wants to kill him. He wants to kill the big guy, so now he is the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was-
literally and metaphorically.
yeah, he was either going to beat him to death or what ended up happening. He's just like, well, I can't beat him to death, so I'm just going to stick him a few times and call it good.
But Max,
It's more Klingon than Brotherhood. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Max gets essentially using momentum, ends up
Yeah.
getting the guy to essentially move his hand and stab himself in the stomach. He's down. Max is like the knife to the
He's got
guy's
the-
chest as the
He's
guy
trying
is
to
choking him
drive
and
it
also
in.
trying to hold the arm back. And Max
Yep.
looks up and sees Quintus.
Yeah, he keeps looking at Quintus throughout the fight, and Quintus
Yeah.
is just like, you are the steel. This is what
Yeah.
you do.
This,
He's
yeah, this is what
dispassionate.
you gotta do.
Max obviously does not want to go this way, and Dane,
No.
Dane is so just
Yeah.
not necessarily. Dane is disappointed with Maximus
Yeah.
and the way Maximus is acting, but also Maximus doesn't want to do this either. But it's what he has to do
Yeah.
to survive
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
this
and-
moment. But I think it's going to be a wake up for him too that the Brotherhood is not going the right direction.
Yeah,
under
this is
him
not what
even
he
more.
wanted. Yeah, but he ends
Right.
up, he
Yeah.
That-
pushes the knife down, kills the guy, looks up at Dane, who is just disappointed, and just walks away. But it's like a great shot of as he's looking at Dane, and Dane is disappointed and turns around, everyone
Everybody.
else is like cheering and is like the scribe that he was with earlier in the day, who he's teaching like we
Yeah.
need to be better people, is right there being like,
Right.
oh my god,
Yeah.
This is what
he
my
did it."
hero just did. My hero
Yeah.
just did this, right? Which,
Yeah.
once again, not the lesson that you want to necessarily
No,
teach them.
no.
Yeah.
Brother shouldn't kill brother. In fact, it was even
Yeah.
said earlier in the meeting that brother shouldn't hurt brother.
Yeah.
And yet
Yeah.
here we see them violating it again.
Yeah, and this
Yeah,
is
it's
this
just-
is much as we said, like this wasn't a test of strength to see anything, but this was
No, this
one
wasn't
person
like blowing
wanted
off steam.
to
Mm-hmm.
kill the other one because he wanted that spot essentially.
Yeah, this
He's
this
lying.
is something. That,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say like this is something that like so one of my other nerddoms is BattleTech, and in there's like this race of like basically like space Nazis. They just did a whole bunch of like eugenics and everything and developed this warrior culture. But the problem is like, well, one, they warrior culture them kind of ended up being a game. But they would do these things like trials, for like right of possession, right to, do all these things. And it was literally like, it wasn't anything but everybody circling up and these two people kicking the shit out of each other.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, this high-minded, like, the nobility of the warrior thing. And it's just like, yeah, you keep talking about this noble game and then you do dumb shit like this that I
Yeah.
expect to see like my farm folk cousin doing.
Yeah.
Like circling up and beating the piss out of each other for no other reason than you're bored and you think you're better than this new hire guy.
Yeah.
It's like, this like what Jess has been saying. Like this is not how the Brotherhood should be.
Right. But in this case, this guy wants to advance. And once again, the way to advance is to come on and take on, the biggest guy on the field, which technically it is Max as far as position goes. And he's established dominance and all that. Anyway.
And it's find the biggest guy and beat him up.
It's like prison. It's not this noble endeavor that the Brotherhood claims to be. It's just like, Yeah, Dane, I think. Yeah.
So everybody's cheering. And then
everybody's cheering, and then something, we Max notices out, and he kind of turns around. We see a vertibird coming into the hangar.
Baller move, by the way, flying into the hangar and landing,
knocking shit over because he's mad.
That shit's super hard to do.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you ever tried that in Grand Theft Auto, but it's hard.
Yeah, lands in the hangar. Somebody steps out. It is Kumail Nanjiani as Paladin Harkness. Paladin Xander Harkness.
We know his name's Xander. Did we get that?
That is, I am looking at IMDb right now, and he's listed as Xander Harkness. So
okay,
I don't know if
that's awesome. Because as soon as I heard the name Harkness, of course, I thought about the replicated man quest from Fallout 3 in Rivet City, where Harkness is head of security and an OG synth. One of the earlier Gen 3s and such. And I'm like, oh my God, did Harkness join the Brotherhood? Because the Capital Wasteland group of Brotherhood were obviously, working towards Project Purity and all the good stuff. And maybe Harkness ended up joining, but no, it wasn't that. Just the name Harkness, most likely. But I was excited. Also, Kumail. I mean, how awesome is it that he's in this season? When I heard he was going to be in, I was so excited. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I love Kumail. Like, have either of you seen his new special yet?
And I just thought of the face of Bo. So.
Oh, yeah, of course. Face of Bo, Jack Harkness. You got a couple of Harknesses there, which I always wondered if that was a reference too, to each other because they came out around similar times.
Yeah.
But and Kumail, I mean, he's an OG gamer. His podcast Indoor Kids is one of the earlier gaming podcasts out there from 2010 to 2013 or 14 or so. Him and his wife Emily, he's great, and it's been fun seeing him act more and more and stuff. But he's in Fallout now. How cool!
Yeah, he's in Fallout now, and he's got a new special on Hulu, which is fan-fucking-tastic. So
awesome.
I highly recommend that.
I liked his last one, but he hasn't done one for years.
It's really hard getting absolutely ripped for a Marvel movie, as it turns out.
Paladin Harkness comes out, and we hear the line, "Oh, I hear there's talk of a civil war. It must not have gotten my invitation." And Quintus stands up and he's like, "Yet here you are."
Right, perfect. The Commonwealth showed up.
Yeah, Commonwealth showed up.
He's a Commonwealth liaison.
Oh,
and he, as the show is ending, he looks over and he sees Max standing above
in front of this big dude.
In front of this big dude, this dead body with he's covered in blood, and he just looks at him
a little game recognized game right there.
I don't know. See, that's what I wanted to ask you too about that last shot of him. Does he look impressed, or does he look like, oh, I'm now in this backwater world where they're just violent to be he's like, oh yeah, you're exactly what I thought you were going to be.
I don't think we got that. I mean, we know that they have been in touch with the Commonwealth off and on, various chapters, and this chapter especially, that there was some back and forth in the first season. So you would think Harkness might have met some of these people before, unless he's a recent arrival liaison. So no, I don't think he was thinking backwater, but I do think he was looking askance at him, why would a brother be fighting a brother? What happened here?
Yeah.
I don't think he was necessarily impressed. Obviously, he wasn't impressed. I don't think he would be. But I do think he was okay, what was happening? Who is this guy?
Yeah, and he sees obviously this dude just killed this dude, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're definitely going to get our kind of. That's once again this Brotherhood story, I think, is going to end up being something that affects the entire wasteland and the entire country, whereas maybe
across.
Yeah, maybe Lucy's story and finding her dad, not necessarily, that's going to be more of a familial thing. Same with the ghoul and Norm, but this Brotherhood story is bringing in multiple chapters from around the West, bringing in the Commonwealth directly, and
and you have to wonder. I mean, with him showing up in this situation, how is he going to handle it? Are they just going to kill him? Do they actually want to start the Civil War, which could happen that way very easily? Or Are they, yet now you're here, like Quintus says. And now that they're here, are they going to discuss and talk about it? And that's what I assume is going to happen, that they're actually going to recognize, the guy's status. Okay, you're at the table. Because what they really want is, I think, the Commonwealth at the table to negotiate. Civil war if they have to, but I think they're going to negotiate first. Although, once again, with some of these chapters, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Quintus could have it in his mind that he wants to negotiate, but these other ones, as we've seen, they could very much just be like, we don't need to negotiate, we can just kill him. And then...
Yeah.
Then there's even more inner fighting on this team, or on this side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Quintus he's like, okay, now I have to work with this envoy of the Commonwealth here. I'm still going to consolidate my power and just basically take every chapter west of the Mississippi and turn it into this thing that the Commonwealth has to bow to.
Yeah. And maybe not even bow to, just, you have to. We're gonna be, if not bow to, like, we're gonna be on equal footing.
Yeah, like we're going to be peers, or I am going to be ruling. I'm going to be running
together. In my way.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think that that is his whole play. And if he has to send like Grand Canyon and Yosemite into the meat grinder to get what it is he's trying to do, he will definitely do that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he wants to reunite the Brotherhood. So it doesn't actually want to fight, but if it takes that, then he will.
Yeah. He's not looking for a fight, but he's also not trying to avoid a fight at any cost.
He's not looking for the fight, but if it happens, he's like, I want to make sure that all of my pieces are here. Like a game of chess. Like, and if I have to sacrifice a pawn or two, to win this game, I will.
More than willing, sadly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the last shot. I mean, this is the end of the episode here.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we know from like stuff we've seen in the trailers and in the future, that Harkness does continue to work with them somehow, and almost in a way that he's asking the Civil War, like he's there to work with them and arrive at some kind of, common understanding. So we know that he will continue in the show, which is good.
Yeah, and that's my question now is what do we think this is going to be for the rest of the season? How do we think this? What are your predictions on this Brotherhood storyline with Harkness?
Yeah,
I think most likely. I mean, we've already seen some fighting and stuff like that. I do think that they're going to implode. That this, this unification, this what is it? Working together.
Yeah. Under uniting under whatever.
Yeah, right. Uniting for convenience. Like it's an alliance of convenience. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Them doing that for this is not going to hold when the different chapters' values and who actually has control and power comes into play. So I think that there's going to be some implosion there. The Brotherhood will be reduced in power in the area. We'll see who comes out on top. And obviously we know Max is going to be ultimately leaving this. And even though I do think the Brotherhood storyline will be mostly separate from the main, like you said, it's going to have far-reaching ramifications, Max should entwine back into the main story at some point, right? Because don't we see that it's
we see him at Freeside with Lucy and the Ghoul.
An NCR power armor, I guess.
Was he? I know he had like the NCR helmet. I don't know if it was wearing his.
Might have just been the helmet then.
Bit of it, but I know it was definitely the helmet. Yeah.
So, I think at some point, how many episodes are there this season? Do we know?
8 again, I think.
Yeah. 8. We're at 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the next couple of episodes, I see Max either realizing that the Brotherhood is not what he thought it was and leaving, or seeing the writing on the wall that what Dane has been saying, the warning of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, the Commonwealth will kill us all.
Maybe he starts to see that the Commonwealth Brotherhood represents the Brotherhood he wants to help too. Maybe he doesn't give up on the Brotherhood, but he realizes that this is more the Brotherhood that he belongs to, along with, Harkness. And he and Dane escape. I mean, we don't know. We've only seen hints about that. But I'm excited to see what happens there. I'm excited to see what Mr. House's plans are and how that all brings in. Excited to see who Hank is actually reporting to. If it is, House or somebody else. Because the twist, obviously, they want a twist. They love their twist.
No, we know who it's. Dave Vaultek. That's who it is. David Vaultek, the owner of Vaultek, who's still alive. He's not a ghoul. He's just immortal. All right. He's like a cat.
That's exactly it. Yeah, he's like a head in a jar, right? like Brad Burton there in Nuka World. Same deal.
He's been reporting to that supercomputer that runs the Encore. President John Hunter Nemechek or whatever the hell it is.
John Henry Eden there, but yeah,
There it is.
there are a couple. There are a
John
couple
Hunter
different Zacks.
Nemechek?
John Hunter Nemechek is an old NASCAR driver. I'm just like,
Oh, you got the JH right. I mean, that was
Yep.
really pretty good.
Close.
yeah, I'm just like, I'm like, I'm not gonna land this, so
Yeah.
But- yeah, no, I think Jess, you're kind of right. I think Max is going to be like, look to the Commonwealth Brotherhood, but I think he's going to see what they're doing to bring the rest of those chapters, the rebel chapters, to heel, and he's going to be like, no, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
So I think that's how he winds up, just kind of out there in the winds. And
I think, I don't think Dane is long for this world.
no, Dane is.
And
Dane
I
is
think
a
that
character
might
that
be the
Volker-
thing.
Not
Yeah,
but-
that might be because it's Maximus is, when he's out in the field, killing the abominations and everything. He comes back and he's talking to Quintus and everything, and he seems very bought into.
Mhm.
He's getting more and more bought into what they're doing. But Dane is that one person who's still there, being like, I know that this
and
isn't
Dane
you.
was bought in a different way. Like Dane was
Yeah.
bought in the the original, like working
Yeah.
their way up the ranks.
Yeah.
Like they were one of the most advanced initiates. There's a reason why they were initially picked to go on the field mission, stuff like that. Like Dane was excelling,
Yeah.
but in
Yeah.
the larger scheme of things and with the way things are changing, really when Quintus shows up, like that's when things change. When Quintus showed up in first season,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't agree with that, yeah.
But I think, unfortunately,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that might be either Dane is killed in a way that they didn't need to be killed in, or
Oh my
leaves.
god.
That would be a catalyst for sure. That would
Yeah.
really affect Max's point of view.
Because that's still that one person who he's close to, really probably the only person that he's close to, who
Yeah.
can actually maybe talk some sense into him.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens next week, and we will be back with another thing. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any?
It's been great talking to y'all. I know we're going on at length about this. There's so
whatever.
many ties into things.
There's
So
so
many
much
mysteries
going
still.
on.
That's why we're doing this as a separate thing this year. Last year, our thought was let's do one episode about the whole season, and then it was about this long talking about episode 1. And we're like, we should probably split this up.
Yep.
So this year we planned ahead.
Yes, we did.
But yeah,
We figured out everything
before we
but
head
the
out-
name.
Yeah. Well, that's actually Jessica. If you have any ideas of what we should call this thing,
I may have to come back at you after. I'm cool with the whole Storymoders Quantum. I think that's got a good flavor to it. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say, man,
Ooh.
yeah, the quantum's tasty.
should it?
Have you had it yet? It's a little bit sour, berry-licious, a little bit sweet tart. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's like
Do you
berry
think
lemonade.
it'd be
but,
good room temperature?
I mean, I've had it room temperature. It's not
Not the
great,
best.
but yeah.
Okay then.
But it's also one of those. It's
Maybe
just
wait.
like, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I know most drinks are formulated to like have, be very flavorful cold,
Yeah.
but you have it a little warmer, and like certain things do come through a little bit more.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
open one right
it's-
now, but these are all just sitting here.
Tastier than the G Fuel Quantum. Now, I've got Stockholm syndrome with the G Fuel Quantum. I've had several tubs of it over the last 2 years since they introduced it. I like it okay, but it's not great. Whereas that stuff, the Jones is a bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Jessica, where can people find you? What are you working on now?
Okay, I'm on the interwebs all over Twitter and Blue Sky and such as @sleepisforT. Is what I go for. That Sleep is for Tortoises, originally a Doctor Who reference, which Mr. Hawks might get. Also, Jessica Star XP on Twitch, Jessica Star on YouTube. A couple projects I'm working on. We're actually, the next Wasteland Theatre Company production has just gotten underway. Hopefully we'll be doing it maybe this spring, late spring, we'll see.
Is it Oliver?
Gonna be another.
Is it a
No,
musical?
we're not. We're probably not doing Shakespeare this time. Like we've mostly done
okay.
Shakespeare, although one of my favorites we've done was Alice in Wonderland. If y'all are interested in any Wasteland Theatre Company episodes, I've got a lot of them up on my YouTube from past episodes and such. But yeah, right now just doing the Fallout feed, one of my podcasts. Currently, the way the Fallout feed works, we tend to do a roundtable once or twice a year. and we're in season 17, which is a New Vegas factions roundtable. So we're going through all of New Vegas, playthrough with the quests, and then the DLC. So the way we do it, we pick a couple quests a week. I put up a schedule on our website, and we play through, and then a lot of listeners, they send in their feedback about their characters they've done with us. We've created random character generators for all of the games so that people can roll random characters to get assigned, try new things. So a good time. But yeah, that's what I'm mostly doing right now. Obviously, got a lot of projects in the work, but mostly just focused on Fallout like usual.
Yeah, it's got to, stay creative.
Hell yeah.
It's the only way we can live in this world. Mm-hmm. It's a hellscape.
Yeah.
We've had no snow in Utah. That's not good for us. But we will see you all next week. Mike may or may not be joining us next week.
Oh, I'm not joining you next week. That's 1,000% happening. Not happening.
I didn't know if you were going to try to like check in for, but maybe not. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I'll probably send you like a video in the chaos of moving, and you can just splice that in. But no, I am. You're Storymoders faithful. You're not going to see me until the first regular Storymoders episode of the new year. So,
which is going to be a special one that, I think we could say it here. Yeah, Twitch.tv/Storymoders.
We're taking a hard right turn since this is coming out on January 6th, baby.
Yeah, it's just the Tuesdays. We were already on Tuesdays, and it was weird. Didn't want to change that, but
no,
we're going to be going. Our weekly podcast is going to be going live, twitch.tv/Storymoders every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That's the best time. No offense, Jessica, but it's the only one that makes sense to me. Yeah, so go give us a follow there. We will see you then. And next week, we'll be back with episode 3 with our... I forget which order we've got them in. Oh, cool, yeah. So next week, episode 3 recap with Wreck-It Renee.
Oh, that'll be great. Love Renee.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We will see you all then. Jessica, once again, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. It's been so fun. I'm sorry that we kept you for so long.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, y'all. No better way to spend a Saturday than talking about Fallout, right?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Thanks so much. You guys have been great.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We will see y'all next week. Bye.
You got to accentuate the positive.